guys, what's up? And welcome to Tea Time with the Dragon. I've already started a little bit of tea, having some English breakfast right now. So I figured we'd start off a little bit. And welcome to my beautiful background here. I will say I would love to have something like this for a house or background. This just kicks ass. I mean, yeah, it's a very peaceful, tranquil. I mean, could you imagine listening to the water just rolling off the little fountains and stuff? Oh god. And you have giant koi. For those that haven't seen koi, they're almost like goldfish, but they're all sorts of different colors, and they get huge. I mean, I've seen koi about this big in the zoo. Fantastic. I would love to have koi. You know, we used to have it when I was a kid. We used to sell them for pets years and years ago. God, that was 36 years ago. Luminous says, I said in the background, it's just a picture. We all know that's his real house in Thailand. Just kidding. Hey, you know, it could happen one day, you know. And then we got my nifty Kai Dragon Media and Gardening cup here. So, we're ready for tonight. So, first of all, I did get my announcements out late. I did post a schedule this week. Some of them have to be determined or not unknown. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. I know we're doing a stream, but so sometimes I don't have an exact pinpoint of what I am doing until I kind of get some last minute notifications from people. I've got a few things going, but until I hear final verdict, if that falls through, then I do something else. So I always want to make sure I give you guys a show. That's the most important thing for me, is to make sure you guys have something. So when it comes to that it's very important to me. It could be something as another talk show. It could be gaming. More than likely it'll be gaming, because there's a lot of stuff that's came out in the past several weeks that have just, well, it's good times to be a gamer, especially if you're into indie games and not AAA games. So that's one thing you got to look out for. I wasn't able to find an article today, and we were going to talk about that, but now I guess our attention span is either shrinking so much that 30 seconds is too long, which kind of blows my mind, because I come from a generation where you sit there and read a book. You sit there and figure out what you're doing, read 1,000 pages, you go through it, or you'd watch a 20-minute video. And, we got shorts, thanks to TikTok. YouTube wanted to model that, where we had even more shorts. And what I found interesting about that was, this was kind of concerning when I was thinking about it. Our attention span has to be shrinking for maybe the younger generation. I don't know. But I saw an article, and I've been trying to find it because I was having coffee this morning before I went to work, and I didn't bookmark it, and I've been trying to find it. And I didn't really validate how close it is, so please take this with a grain of salt, because I don't like spreading rumors, but I found it interesting. Potentially YouTube is rolling out something even further that's AI generated, where it will tell you what the video is about in 10 seconds. So you don't have to watch the video. I was... But if you could tell, judging on my expression on my face, I'm just like, why would you do that? I mean, I know that people do clickbaits. I know people try to do the whole manipulation game, and it sucks and all that. But there's something really horrifically wrong with using AI to tell you what a video is about. Why not listen to it? I was thinking about this today. There's occasionally I'll hit some YouTubers that are bigger news, click it, see what's up on it, just pinning. A lot of times it's clickbait, and I hate the clickbait shit. Let's just be real with it. Um, but and then the first 5 minutes, the first 5 seconds, it's like nothing but ads about shilling their products, which I get it. You're trying to make some money on it. But if you do like 4 videos a day and that's all you're doing is showing your like coffee and stuff, I tune out, or I try to find where you're talking. And if for the first 5 seconds it looks like it's clickbait, I click off. I don't think the YouTube AI that they're talking about is going to solve that. And Lumina says, isn't that counterintuitive for you to do that, considering they want to force people to watch ads and make money off those ads? See, that's what I would think too, Luminessa. And that's why I was just like, this sounds sus. Why? But then again, look at shorts, Luminessa. Maybe just that click is enough now. I don't know. It just, when I saw that they were trying, somebody was talking about that, and one of the content gurus that I like watching, he had brought that up, and I was just like, I don't like this idea very much. Something just seems catastrophically wrong with this picture. I don't know. I don't think we have that much of an attention span issue. Maybe it's because if we do, it's maybe Kimmels we from the food we eat. Maybe it's how people have been growing up or something. You know, keep in mind, I'm 44. I grew up reading books. I grew up playing stuff, watching movies, you know, that took a long time. And Lumina says it's a new generation. It must be, but you're not really retaining information, and what's the hurry? That's the thing. You're not going to digest everything in 10 seconds. You're not going to be able to read. I mean, and so the thing that bothers me, the one thing that bothers me with the whole thing is you should read. I mean, if I want the AI to tell me the synopsis of a book and say, yeah, it was the story about a dragon that conquered half of this world, and some knights came up and beat him, blah, blah, blah. Where's the feeling to it? Where's the story? Where's the, how do I want to put it? Where's the trials and tribulations that attach you to something? Most of the time when you think about reading a book or watching a movie, the goal is to attach you to a character. You're supposed to. Now, granted, today's Marvel movies and Disney don't really reach out and grab as much as it used to. And hello, Owen. I am doing well. Family's doing well. Thank you for asking. And Lumina says, remember the other conversation we had about new movies, how new movies are made, all explosions, flashlights, jumping from one scene to another every 5 seconds. That's a whole low attention span. You want to know the truth then? We're screwed. If we can't hold attention, we're really screwed. Because sometimes you have to pay attention to stuff. You know, if you're working on a vehicle, if you're working on fixing your house, if you're working on gardening, if you're working on plumbing, you know, let's just say your line breaks, you know how to plumb. You got to stay focused on, you got to watch what you're doing. So if it's a go, 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 that is a very, very bad sign and kind of scary. And no problem, Owen. So, I mean, when you think about that, it's, I don't know. I fear when I see that we're trying to push it to where you know stuff in 5 seconds, which, great, you know stuff in 5 seconds. I am drinking English breakfast right now. Then I am drinking papaya, mango, and followed by passion fruit tonight. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get another one. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, we'll go and get some more tea. Of course, my nifty little tea set that I have here, which is something that I wanted to make sure we had, because it's really important to always have a good tea set. And I do want to improve the lighting here in my office. So I get it from a local store that imports it, and I also have been starting to purchase tea from the Dragon's Treasure. You can find them online. Great brand of tea. Big shout out to the tea man himself, Dragon's Treasure. Where and how? I select it, figure out what I want to try. A lot of times I just try stuff at random. Like this one here, I got with the cherry cola I did on Tea Stream last week. This is from the Dragon's Treasure. This is fantastic. I don't really do Amazon. I'd rather support your local tea merchants. So a lot of times I will just go to actual tea stores, tea houses to buy this stuff. You know, I want to support small business where I can. And plus, Amazon tea, you may not always get the finest tea. I mean, there's some good things with Amazon, but you can't be dependent on Amazon. I mean, otherwise, unless you want Amazon to rule the world. So moving on to the next topic I was going to talk about. So I've been having some interesting interviews with VTubers. Been very, very illuminating. I have another interview dropping Monday. It's a longer interview. I think it was like an hour and a half. So I've been slowly editing that down because there's stuff that I want to pare out and things like that, just for the sake of time. Also, in case YouTube doesn't like it, because what I like to do when I interview is I like to do unfiltered and make it where it works really well, and then turn around and plug it in the way it needs to be. No editing. I will never clip somebody out of context, but if there's a phrasing or something in there that may not flow well and, YouTube censors get angry, well, I don't want to do that. So I would rather edit that out or bleep it or whatever we need to. So the whole VTubing world I've been finding really fascinating. And yes, and we have enough trying to rule the world. And Bezos and Elon teaming up to make Skynet where I do. Haven't you already seen the stupid androids all these rich guys have now that are maids and stuff that do things for them? We're almost there, Luminessa. We're almost there. It's kind of scary as it is. But now moving on to the VTuber thing. So I find it very fascinating. It seems like it is a heavily saturated market, but some could say with content creation. And it seems like they have the same problem that YouTubers, well, the old school content creators and stuff have. Even, let's just say guys even have a harder time with competition and content creation. For example, we have the OnlyFans, or we have OnlyFans like Twitch, where you get a lot more clout there, which and they're always trying to push the limit to see what they can and can't do. And that is always a dangerous problem too. And I don't really like that, the feeling that has, But VTubers, because it's an expensive industry to get into. And, models are not cheap. Let's just say, yeah, to answer Ivan's question, pushing limit like in Twitch, yeah. Pushing limit on X, Twitch, YouTube. Unfortunately, the VTuber market is very heavily saturated, but the cost to jump in is not cheap, Ivan. What I have actually found is, like, one of the ones upcoming interview is about $1,300 between getting the model and then setting up the rigging. Yeah. So you're throwing a heavy investment. Well, Mike, I know you try to be John Cena. Get to film better, buddy. I can see you, man. Dun, 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 dun. But, back to the whole topic at hand. So when I was looking at perspective, you have initial huge startup cost on X, and I've been noticing it's predominantly female VTubers. They'll post a lot of pictures and stuff to try to how do I want to say it, sex sells, to get people to follow them, and then they'll come to their X or their Twitch and stuff. And it always seems like what I've seen is you're in two categories. Whoa, I just got a big flood of text here. Okay, well, now that Streamlabs is caught up here. So what I found with it was interesting because I'm a big fan of VTubing still. Don't get me wrong. So this is nothing bad with it, but because it's so saturated, you have to one-up each other. You have to constantly push the boundaries as far as you can go. New outfits, things like that. Lewd content, things like that, just to get attention. You don't see very many male VTubers, and I don't see tons of successful male VTubers, is something that I've noticed too. Now I notice it's a very protective, a lot of them use VTubing as a way to keep their identity and keep it quiet, which is cool. It's cool. I mean, but the difference with that is you're like somebody like me that has multiple media, you're covering journalism, you're covering gardening, you're covering cooking, you're doing games, you're talking to people. You're not really going to sit there and be a VTuber in gardening or cooking. I mean, the amount of money it would cost and equipment to even do that would be astronomical if you could even pull that off. I mean, I don't know what the limits are for 3D, but to do gardening 3D as a VTuber out in your backyard, I think would be... I don't even know if it's possible, to be honest. I think that's something that is really incredibly expensive. Man, Evan says, depending on the market, I guess, is like clothing market. Female clothing market is bigger than male clothing market. Yeah, and that's true. But they spend a lot of money getting into it, and so they have to do things. So it's weird. You either have... I feel like there's 2 or 3 categories. You have the drama tubers, the ones that cover news or cover VTuber drama, or they cover the news or politics. So there's 2 groups there. So, you have some groups that cover drama in the VTubing world. Then you have the ones that are political. And then you have the gamers or just the, daily streamer kind of ones where they don't really have a specific niche or market segment, which I found that was interesting, that there's basically 3 there. The one that's least filled has been politics. Kirshi is the one that I think does the most of that I've seen. Maybe Pipkin Pippa just a little bit, but I feel like she has toned down a lot over the last year, but she's still pretty wild. So it's really hard because it's not just your voice. It's your VTuber model, how far you're going to take it with some stuff. I mean, it's wild. Yep. I figured you would recognize those names, Ivan, because, yeah, they're couple of my favorite ones. Rima is a great one. I don't really consider her a drama tuber, but maybe you could classify her as that because she covers a lot of VTuber news drama. She does fantastic documentaries. I'd love to get Rima on the show and interview her at some time because I think she has done some well put together documentation. In fact, as I'm interviewing VTubers, I'm even formulating basically kind of a documentary on VTubers myself, because I find the whole culture a fascinating thing. So let's just lay that out there. But there's also the nitty-gritty of it. They have the same struggles as someone like me that is out YouTubing, that we're trying to, get attention. We're trying to get a community. We're trying to get a following. So what do? So, and this is where you run into trouble. Do you sit there and pick fights with creators? Do you skate the line on drama? Do you dive into politics? Do you try to start, politics? Do you try gaming? Do you try... There's a lot of different markets, and it's how far you're going to push the line. The hardest part is discovery in content creation. And this is something that a college degree will never teach you. I'm going to say that right now, because they're saying that college is now going to offer content creator degrees. This is something that they're not going to teach you. They will never teach you. These professors don't know jack shit about content creation. They may teach you how to film edit. They may teach you how to do green screens. They may teach you the sound. They may teach you all the qualities that you may need to be successful. But they're never going to teach you how to make money. They're not going to be able to teach you to market you, because here's the thing. X is a big marketing tool. You know what gets the most attention in X? You say something stupid or controversial to get canceled, or you post memes and pictures all day long until you get enough following to where enough people start viewing your stuff and responding. Then other people start seeing it. That's the nature of Twitch. I mean, not Twitch, X. And Luminous says too many user screens, we don't need them. More, yeah, I agree with you 100%. But yeah, excuse me, I'm getting a little bit of a cold. The weather changed a little bit. So it's, that's the rat race. Now, I've seen, for example, a content creator. He blew way past me. He started way after I did. He blew past me, and he does vertical streams. You know what he streams? Fortnite. That's all he does is Fortnite. Thing is, you also follow the trend. You gotta try to find the big games and play them and do certain things. But the problem with that is you're not doing something that you enjoy. And people will see that on your expression that you don't enjoy what you're doing. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Also, smash that like button if you guys don't have yet. Definitely helps with the algorithm. I really appreciate y'all. But that's just it. They don't... For me, I would rather build a following in a community that people want to interact with me, talk with me, laugh, play up, laugh at my shenanigans, and build up a loyal group that is here day in, day out, all that stuff, versus play the most popular game and try to get 4,000 people and then hope, most of them show back, which they said they are, but they're expecting more Fortnite. And Ivan says, college will never teach you the cruel reality of society and how to make money or get a job just the way it is. 20 likes and Kai will bake a pizza live on stream. Also, KaiCon 2025. You know what, Luminous? I'd have to probably have about 200,000 subs, and I'd have to have at least probably 2,000 concurrent before I could do a convention. But I tell you what, I would go to a convention, sell merch, meet the fans and stuff, if, we get that popular. The Guardian channel's doing well. It's like 200 right now, but we'll see. The time will only tell how that goes. And society, college doesn't really prepare you for anything. So, little story that I'll share about me. So, I was a non-traditional student. I started college when I was 24. Made some mistakes in my life. I dropped out of school when I was 16. My folks were getting divorced, and it was an ugly situation at the time. I went to a new school. And my problem was I was always the nerdy kid, Never really fit in with anybody. I didn't fit in with the jocks. I didn't fit in with really anyone. I just did my stuff. One of my old friends my old friends stuck his nose into my family's feuding and constantly wanted to fight me to the death. Some really, really stupid stuff. And I told him, dude, Just stay out of my life, stay out of my business. Used to be one of my great friends. And no, he had to stick his nose in and get involved. And sadly, after that happened, I was always watching my back at school. And I got sick of the crap. Between the crap going on, between the divorce and everything, I got tired of it. So I dropped out of school. I was pissed at the world. I used to be a 4.0 student. I used to be rocket science with math. Still am. That's why I do accounting during the day. But, I always went somewhere. I love journalism and things like that. So I, dropped out. Went to college. Didn't go to college right away. I did trade school. I worked in retail. And, fortunately, I ended up getting hurt on the job once and plumbing, and that kind of screwed me up. Luckily, I got laid off when I was 24. It's like, I don't want to do this crap the rest of my life. It wasn't worth it. So, went to college. I thought about becoming a lawyer. I liked arguing. I liked to come up with reasons to argue. But as I started going through school, I found that I just do accounting. There was a lot of different fields I wanted to get into, but I was like, okay, I want to make the most money possible. Let's go into tax law. Driest subject you could think of. Unfortunately, I only finished accounting because it was so boring, and by the time I got done with school for the CPA, which, by the way, just because you get the Irish CPA doesn't make you a CPA. That's a whole nother money racket we won't discuss. So, first years out of college was a rat race, struggling, sleeping on floors, trying to figure out what I was going to do for money, food. I lived under the good grace of being able to stay in my folks' storage area. It's really the only room they had at the time. They weren't going to let me live on the streets. It's just a little 4-foot by 4-foot room. Really not much space. But I made it, three long grueling years to land where I was at, though. And college never helped me once. They promised you the world. They promised their career services would help you land a job. Most of those employers on the career boards at the college, they want fresh college students, but they want like 10 years work experience or 6 years. That was the shit that I ran into. I actually have a friend, Blue, that just got out of college. He was a Navyman, was in school, finished everything after he got out of Navy, got his degree in like cybersecurity or something. He fell in the same pitfall I did. 2-3 years without finding a job, and then everybody looks at you funny like, well, why haven't you found a job? So I don't have a very good opinion about college. It drives you deep in debt, and it doesn't help you. Now, thing is, I've made it on my own, through my own good graces, to get where I'm at today. But I've also had to network. The reason why I had the job I had is one of my friends I went to school knew me, said, hey, I know this guy. He works hard. That's how I got the job. So, college does not prepare you for the real world. College does not help you get successful. I know that's probably the most controversial thing I'll say. I know some people may not like it, but I'm spitting facts here. It's about who you know. You could be the dumbest SOB alive and get a job because your best friend owns a company, or or you know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. That's how it works. It's the same with content creation. it's all about who you know. I mean, you can build up an audience, and yes, you can be successful with that said audience, but it does take time. It takes a lot of time. So that's my story to share with you guys today, about a story of poverty, sleeping on floors, living in hell, and to be where I'm at, where at least I am making payments on a house, I have a garden, I have a YouTube channel, I have a full-time job I've been with it'll be 9 years in December. You know, it's not easy. And it's a fucking rat race. Hey, Groutworks, how you doing? So, that's what I was going to say about college, for the most part. It's not the most positive thing, but, you know, here we are. Let me get some more tea. And my trusty, beautiful... Oh, come on, green screen. There we go. I got this from one of our local Vietnamese grocery stores. It's so cool. It's got a little top here, and then you got your strainer at the top. So if you really didn't want to steep, you got it all right there. So I use it sometimes just to fill water. Other times I use it to pre-make some tea. So, kind of just my thing. Hope you're doing well, Groutworks, and welcome to the show. Yeah. Also, I wanted to bring this up as I try to get this Streamlabs crap worked out. I'm still trying to work out the bugs, the kinks between YouTube Shorts, YouTube X. Hopefully, we can add Rumble, Kick, and Twitch. Twitch is going to be depending on how it all goes, because the goal is to be syndicated on everything. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about some interesting other news that I found that I was like, Dr. Disrespect is now heading up Rumble Gaming. Never saw that coming. Never saw Dr. Disrespect getting a deal on Rumble either. A very hefty deal, which they think they're going to turn gaming around. Here's what I think about Rumble. Rumble may have been a cool alternative for YouTube. But the problem with Rumble, it doesn't push towards other content than politics. That's my big take on it. Yes, you have other programs on there, and there's a lot of YouTubers that are cross-streaming over there, but they don't get near the same amount that they get on YouTube. It's heavy political. I know I've said that again. If I were to post all our gardening stuff on there from the gardening channel, gardening cooking channel, let me tell you something. I doubt we'd get much of a hit. If I posted some games, or I posted this syndicated talk show over there, guess what? You ain't gonna see shit. It's not gonna push it. It's gonna get buried under all the politic crap of the world. So, unless Rumble changes that somehow, I don't see how paying somebody millions of dollars to try to change the gaming sphere on Rumble is going to matter. I've seen a lot of people try on Rumble and get discouraged. Don't know. So what's your thoughts about Dr. Disrespect going to Rumble? I mean, granted, I saw it coming with YouTube not remonetizing him. It's just like the writing was on the wall there, realistically. I mean, I thought he couldn't sustain what he's doing, but he had also ad revenue and some other things going on, or not ad revenue, but he had funds and money and stuff. So, I mean, from his Patreon or whatever he was getting all his money from. I see people send him donations. So I don't know what platform it was. I think somebody said his first night back after everything, he made like $27,000 or some shit in one stream. So, I mean, he ain't hurting, but he wasn't getting all that extra ad revenue and memberships on YouTube either. So, I don't know. It's a whole interesting thing. I don't fault the guy for taking it. I mean, I'm not going to talk about his allegations or any of that. That's not what I'm here for. Don't care to. But, you know, it's like, wow. I just didn't see that coming. And Bill's had any better experiences on Rumble, definitely let me know. But I'm not a fan of it. Maybe I'm going to give it a try still at some point, but, you know, proof's in the pudding. I've just heard enough people say it isn't worth it. So, kind of going there. All right. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the reflections of Thanksgiving. One of the things that I like to discuss when we're looking at the grand scheme of things is, what does Thanksgiving mean to you in America? I mean, I know Canada celebrates it another time, and a lot of the places in the world doesn't really have Thanksgiving or anything like that. But here in the U.S., you know, it's a time to be thankful with family, be thankful for what you have, whether it's, you know, a lot, little, you know, at least it's something. But Thanksgiving to me was always a time of being together with friends and family. I know it changed once we corporatized everything. Once we changed how retail would start jumping and say, hey, we're going to be open Thursday night. You guys can fist fight for this 70-inch TV. That's $300. And let me tell you something. Those Black Friday and Thanksgiving fights that people would post on YouTube back when YouTube would allow it and they weren't so censored was freaking hilarious. I remember sitting there watching it with family and friends saying, what the hell's wrong with these people? I mean, I remember watching one person get body slammed and just into a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, what the hell? And here comes the cops. So, you know, they're going to jail for a pretty damn long time for something like that. I mean, you're not going to walk away from that. You're going to go to jail. And I'm like, wow, we really changed it. The King Alpha, hey King, says Thanksgiving means overcooked turkey, nasty stuffing, nasty green bean casseroles, and crazy Black Fridays. But now, what do you mean nasty stuffing and nasty green bean casseroles? Come on now. Cream corn, and if you do stuffing right, it's really good. Well, okay. Keyword is if you do stuffing right. And green bean casseroles, dude. Green bean casseroles, to make it tasty and addicting, is like nothing. Holy crap. See, you know, let me tell you, I had people eating my green bean casserole at work like crazy. Now, maybe they were starving to death. I don't know. But, and all I did was 3 cans of cream and mushroom soup. I think 5 cans of green beans, did a little bit of the onions, or how they call it, dried onions or whatever the hell. Let it cook for a while, and then I add another layer like a cake on the top. Bam, done. The easiest shit to make. I mean, unless you're really going to go all out and go buy fresh cut green beans that you do yourself and you're going to spend a fortune on. I'm sorry. If you're going to do that, hey, more power to you, but I'm lazy when it comes to, especially because you're going to make the turkey, you make mashed potatoes, you make the stuffing, gravy, and I can't believe you've never had green bean casserole. It is really good. But I tell you one that's really good, cranberry salad. My mom made the best cranberry salad. It's like chef's kiss. Mwah. And the thing about it, what was cool, is I remember we used to have really big Thanksgivings. We'd have homemade chicken and noodles, and the broth was so thick, like gravy, that you just put it on right on the potatoes. I remember people fighting for that last drop. It was hilarious. It was like, forget the turkey. Grandma's making her old school chicken and noodles on top of mashed potatoes. Granted, it's not healthy for you. It's carbs on carbs, but holy crap, that was the good days. I had a lot of good memories of Thanksgivings like that. Then as I got older, people left. It's just me, my mom, and my stepdad. So we'll have a small Thanksgiving on Thursday, which is why I'll be still doing a stream-a-thon on Thursday, because most of us will eat, we'll watch a movie, and honestly, I'd rather be working again. That my folks have been very supportive of me over the last couple of years with me doing this YouTube thing, doing content creation. So, my thing is I can't let them down, because every day I'm going to try to find new ways to improve it. And that's just the way you got to do it. I mean, it is a slog. Let me just say, because you're fighting the algorithm, you're fighting to get noticed, you're fighting to reach out to the right people on the internet, because the AI, the algorithm that they say, doesn't know what the hell people like or who they're going to send it to. They just guess. It's like, let's toss here. And if it gets the wrong person, then they say, okay, well, nobody obviously likes it, or I don't know where it goes. So then what happening is you're dead in the water. And it sucks. Alf says it's a shame though how many people want to move past Thanksgiving and over because they want to get to holidays, December and Christmas. I don't. Yeah, well, that's because America is corporatized freaking Black Friday, and then they moved into Thanksgiving for the last 20 years. 25 years, you can thank Sears, you can thank Kmart, you can thank Walmart, you can thank Target, all those brick and mortar stores that had all those doorbuster deals where if you came in at 6 o'clock and you bust through the doors going, oh yeah, like Kool-Aid Man, thinking you're gonna get that next TV. That's where you were at. It's like, that's what you had to deal with. And that's why I said I just liked watching the fights at that point. I was like, hey, let's watch it. My favorite. So I'll share a fun little story. I was loss prevention management at Sears at one time in my life. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst time ever. Oh my God. And mass hysteria. And I'm just like, okay. And we didn't have a general manager at the time. We had one manager and I was the other manager. Okay. Whatever. Let's just say my store was so boring you could just watch crickets. We didn't have any real shoplifting. There wasn't anything to steal in Sears. We got rid of all our video games at that point. We got rid of anything worth a damn. And we had all the TVs locked down, so the only way a TV would walk out the door is if a cashier was a dumbass and says, thank you guys, have a great day. So it was quiet. But that was the year I remember they had yoga pants, like buy one, get one free or something that night in Thanksgiving in the mall, because we were right next to Victoria's Secrets. I come looking around the corner and I'm just seeing this freaking street fight between 6 or 7 ladies over yoga pants. I was like, holy crap. And of course, everybody went to jail, but I was sitting back there. I was like, man, Sears sucks. We don't get to have anything interesting anymore. Now, granted, back then I was younger and I was like, always wanted to see the stupid shit people do. Nowadays, now that I'm, midlife, I guess, as you want to say, I'm just like, whatever. I'm that grumpy old man now. I'm Walter Matthau. Yeah, whatever. But back then it was like, holy crap. People get into fights over the stupidest thing. But yeah, America's retail really ruined the meaning of Thanksgiving. Now, granted, Black Friday was something that was always there. The day after, everybody's still on vacation, hanging out. So they all go shopping together. They kind of push the envelope. And yeah, this is what it is. Then it says they still get into fights over stupidest things. Yeah, they do. And the king says, you're no longer that excited for certain things you used to enjoy. Not really. I've seen enough stupid shit in my lifetime, King, that I'm just like, whatever. I see enough of it. I mean, I used to live that stuff, just seeing what people would do. Hell, some of my friends that I used to go to the lake and camp with when I was younger I felt like we're literally Beavis and Butthead. There's a name for you. Couldn't figure out which one was Beavis and Butthead, though. Just like, okay. Let's see. Beavis would always try to find creative ways to camp without a camping bag. And the other one would basically start telling love tales about how he laments and wants a girlfriend. And me, I just want to catch a damn fish and cook it. That's all I care about. I think I was more the cynical one. Shit, I may have been Daria from Beavis and Butthead at that point. Who knows? National Geographic might call. There's a old one for you guys. Tell me you guys remember that. But so when it comes to that, Andy says, fire, fire, fire. How are you doing tonight, Andy? Yes, Soul Mask is coming again, buddy. I saw the update. I was like very excited to see that. Manor Lords is still kind of still taking his sweet ass time. Which we'll talk about that tonight in Tea Time with the Dragon. So yeah, to me, Thanksgiving should have been always about family and being thankful for what you have. Most of my family's gone. The ones that matter to me anyway. They passed away, age, COVID, all that crap. So, it's... you got to remember to be thankful for what you have, because one day it can be gone. And that's a lesson that I think everybody can learn. It's a hard lesson. But, the holidays are supposed to be about spending time with family. Granted, I will say the one thing that disappoints me is families often have to understand that they have to keep politics and religion out of their discussions. I've seen way too many families breaking up over politics. Oh, Toys R Us was fun on Black Friday. I miss those days. Damn. KB Toys, that's another one. And he says, wall panels now have a facing arrow. Yeah, look, I looked at everything. We're going to talk about the patch notes on stream tonight. We're just slowly working our way through all the subjects with the tea time. This passion fruit has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed this one. Also, if you guys are interested in this type of merch in the future, let me know, because I'm going to see what it will take to get stuff like this. Now, granted, this one is the gardening and cooking, but of course, the damn lights in this office suck. I need to get this fixed a little bit, but this one says Kai Dragon Gardening Cooking. So there is still means, still working on that stuff too. Mouse pads, t-shirts, maybe have some different sayings. I know Mom's working on a bearded dragon current coloring thing, coloring book, call it coloring thing, I think, for adults. And he says, don't discuss politics. Religion was a rule back in my day. 100%. You never did that. Every time I see all these people on social media saying, well, I won't go to my family's house because they voted for blah, 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 or this person's gone to me because they did. I'm like, whatever happened, you just don't talk about that stuff at the dinner table. If you're that intolerant about it, don't talk about it. Move on. Interact with your family, because guess what? Cherish them. Everybody's got different opinions. I know there was plenty of people in my family I couldn't stand politically. But that wasn't the point. We didn't talk politics. That was something we agreed to disagree. Same with religion. We don't talk that stuff. And you guess what? You're happier for it. Some of those things do not make good bedfellows. I'm just saying. All right. Yeah, we've been covering quite a bit of stuff on here. I actually had to plan this out today on this show because I had so much stuff to talk about. So, one of the funny things that I saw today, and it was on Gamer Rant, was Ubisoft wants Steam to change concurrent viewer gamers. Ubisoft is crying that they're losing sales because they can see how many people are playing the game on Steam. I laughed my ass off because I guess their Star Wars Outlaws turned out to be a heaping pile of crap and barely anybody's playing it. I just started laughing. I think Steam's analytics is great because it gives a good measurement if a game's worth it or if the game's fading off into the sunset or whatever. Now, it's not always indicative of what a game is like. Let's take example Palworld. Palworld was very popular when it came out earlier this year. Palworld did good. It made millions right off the bat. Thing about it, they got slower on the updates. People did everything they could. So, yeah, it was early access. Of course, people are going to move on. You know, concurrent doesn't always mean everything. And Andy says, of course, they don't want to be slapped in the face for their failures. Yeah, and that's what Ubisoft's known for now. I cannot think of a game that Ubisoft has released in the last decade that isn't worth crap. And somebody's going to say, wait a minute, that's Assassin's Creed. Really? Really? Come on now. It's the same crap other than different characters. Nothing has changed really in that. Granted, if you like Assassin's Creed, more power to you. But I don't think that Ubisoft should be crying because they don't want it seen. Why do I want to, especially if you're a multi-player game. Now Assassin's Creed's a single player, but okay, Rainbow Six Siege or For Honor or whatever the case. I mean, hey Ram, I just wasn't sure if YouTube notified you. I was just like, because normally you would say something by now. But the interesting thing about it was, if it's a multiplayer game, I don't want to sit in a freaking queue for 2 hours waiting for somebody. You still have to be up. Do you work Thanksgiving too then, I take it, Ram? Or are you off tomorrow? Just curious. Because that actually intrigues me. That's why I'm starting a streamathon after tomorrow's Dragon Slayer, by the way. We will be doing a streamathon. I'm not sure if I'm leaning towards Soul Mass tomorrow night or something else. So, I don't know. We may do more. I don't know. And Annie says, I would say that each new edition of tabletop games has very little new to just sell complete set of books. I know many who play older editions. 3.5, baby. 3.5 all the way. That is the best 3.5 is the best. Well, I'm going to see if we can get ourselves an elephant ram. A war elephant and some gliders. So we'll just kind of see how that flows because it looks cool. I really think that we've got this problem where people I'm trying to think how I want to word this. Because sometimes you have to choose your words careful on YouTube. Pathfinder's better fixed 3.5. So the funny story is I really have never played Pathfinder except for the 2 games on Steam, which were fun. I did enjoy them. So I don't know. I can't really justify because I've never done pen and paper version of it. 3.5 I did. 3.5 was fun. But you could break a lot of crap in 3.5. Which was hilarious. So, one of the games that I am going to talk about tonight. This one has really disappointed me to the point that I don't know if I'll be putting it back on my stream rotation anytime soon. I did have some decent views. News, I'll probably still cover news on it, as I have a news section. I've just been so busy. I've got to try to find a good way to try to get you guys the news in a quick, fast pace in 5, 6, 7 minutes and just talk about it and go. But, so, we'll go and start now. Conan Exiles. I am so disappointed with their Age of Heroes that I can't believe it. It's been very lackluster. They really haven't done much for updates, fixes. It's like Funcom just forgot they even had a game that came out. I don't know what happened. It feels like we're dealing with a bunch of amateurs right now, and I have been incredibly, incredibly disappointed in them. I thought Age of Heroes was going to be fantastic. I really did. I thought they really had some ideas to make some recruitable heroes. You do some quests. You know, and it wasn't just the 8-hour lockout per quest that really did me in on that, but it was they released the game, people warned them it wasn't ready, break everybody's thralls. Thralls vanish, they die, you know, they're permanently gone because of a glitch. Fix the glitch, there's still stuff that's not working correctly. I've been still seeing Reddit reports and stuff of players that say their thralls just vanished off the planet. Right now on my server, I have a problem where, once again, all the ads are gone. And the volcano and stuff. And let's just say it's not what I remember of Conan Exiles. And so the thing about it that I will say on Conan Exiles, it was a great game. It was something great to be in the Conan world, the universe, a survival game where you fight bad guys, you fight monsters, you know, explore this cool land. But the problem with it was Funcom lost their direction somewhere along the way. And every time they tried to add something, it was so broken and buggy, like it was a bunch of amateur coding. And I'm not going to be harsh and criticize the programmers, because it could be new programmers because the old guard left and it's spaghetti code. I mean, a lot of people remember the whole Star Wars Galaxies fiasco by Sony when they completely revamped the whole damn system from the early days to NGE, which completely never left the game the same again, and they could never fix all the broken problems in it. And I don't know if that's really the case with it, but you know, when you compare a game to like Soul Mask and Conan Exiles, Soul Mask does everything better when it comes to telling the NPCs what to do for crafting, guarding, doing whatever. Conan, they used to be stuck to just workbenches, and now they wanted you so where they walk around, sit, sleep, eat to make your towns living and breathing, which was a fascinating idea. Unfortunately, a lot of the ideas that they've been taken has been from mods. Several of my viewers and commentators on Conan Exiles talked heavily about that, and I was shocked at just how much Conan Exiles continued to deteriorate. And apparently it was really bad with Age of War when they released the Tavern. A great idea to get thralls by hiring them. Okay, that sounds cool. Maybe find some new ones, make a big cool tavern and attract some new ones. They'd be going through the foundation floors. They would get stuck. There's a lot of problems with it. And would Robert E. Howard play Conan Exiles? Probably not. Part of the problem is their map is so antiquated and outdated. The game's been out close to about the same time as 7 Days to Die, I believe. So they haven't really changed it. You know, something that could have made it better if they did random map generators. Added all the POIs and stuff and the caves and stuff, but it would randomly generate a map for every server, so it's unique. Or there's a lot of different things they could have done, I guess, maybe. But maybe the engine's too weak for it now. Maybe it's just too far gone. I don't know what the answer is going to be, but, you know, Conan is fading out slowly, and it's really damn shame because that game has so much potential. I mean, the sword, the combat, the fighting, the rolling, dodging, the stuff that Soul Mask has. It's like Soul Mask took a look at what Conan Exiles did and said, we can do better. That's what it felt like. So, I'm ultimately really disappointed in it. So, I mean, I don't know what players of Conan Exiles would want to fix. I mean, yes, the modding community can only do so much. Funcom won't release the coding for modders, so they could just do complete real overhauls and do all the work that Funcom doesn't want to do. Until we can see what happens with Conan Exiles, I think the sun is setting on it, which is a damn shame. It's a stunningly beautiful game. You can also make it into a movie where you don't have the HUD, you don't have everything. So if you know the buttons and everything, you could literally have yourself looking like you're in a true combat situation fighting. Jiggle physics was in there as well. I mean, there was all sorts of physics in there. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to recover. And unless they get some new innovative ideas and ways to revamp the code and fix things and fix the bugs that's been in there, I just don't know. I was ultimately, the Age of Heroes to me is still the Age of Zeros. Some people may agree, some people may disagree, but if you're fine on PvP, you may still like it, but I think the PvE side is just slowly phasing out. You can only fight the same monsters so many times. There's really no progression anymore. And maybe it would change if we had some new maps, we had some improvements, you know. I was hoping to see the PvE sieges, but the team that I had kind of fizzled out on that. I could still see it if I wanted to, but to be honest, I think the sunset. And I do have a question. Isn't this just showing that the game designers are tone deaf? Yeah. So one of my other gripes that I have with Funcom, with Conan Exiles, they knew this came out. The content creators that were in their creators club and got early access kept warning them, saying this is not ready, this is not ready. They ignored them. They threw them to the curbside and just moved on. And I'm just like, are you shitting me? These are your guys' sponsored creators, and they're telling you and it's not ready, and you release it, and then you break everybody's games. The servers are a mess, and then you don't respond for over 2 weeks. It's like, oh, patch is out, we're going on vacation, bye! And to me, what were you thinking? I was like, this is not what I expected. This is not professionalism. Then they finally said, oh yeah, we got a fix coming out. It'll come out the following week. Oh, you can turn it off, all this stuff now, and we're going to turn this off. Well, the damage had already been done. And, I don't know. So, let me know what you guys think on that, Conan, because I don't know. I just, right now, I'll still follow some news on it, see if there's anything worth covering on it when I do the news section. But right now, I think, unfortunately, the sun has set with Conan. And Andy, that's something that Soul Master Manor have shown an effort. They listen to threads and add what players are asking for. So, Manor Lords has been asking for, and that's actually on my news thing. So we'll go ahead and cover that next. Let me pull that up first because we're going to be pulling this stuff up and I want to make sure I have it up for the news articles. So bear with me just a second here. And we're going to just go on Game Rant because that's probably the easiest. And bear with me just 1 second as we switch. All right. We've changed it up here. Where? Why is it not showing up now? Bear with me just a second, guys. I'm trying to get this to recognize what's going on here. Okay. Having technical difficulties here. Imagine that. Knew something had to go wrong once. Why is it pulling up that? There we go. Okay, it finally came up now. There we go. Yay! All right, so I gotta fix this for my YouTube shorts, guys, so bear with me just a second, as I didn't have a chance to really go through this. So, maybe if we can get this to work here. It's gonna be weird for the YouTube shorts, guys. I don't think I have any other way to really fix this. My apologies ahead of time. And, if I could figure this out, I would, but, And, yeah, if we go up here. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the butt, ain't it? Well, okay, well, I did what I could on this. I don't know. I got to fix this over here, too, because it's... Is it because I sure... Oh, that's why. Okay, hold on. Okay, that explains a lot. Okay, I was trying to figure out why the hell it was trying to capture the minimized resize. That's why you guys aren't seeing it. Okay, we got it fixed. Yay! All right, we got this fixed. All right, so update on Game Rant 2 days ago. Manor Lords is adding new maps and building upgrades. Okay, this is gonna drive me nuts here. What the hell's going on? All right, I think we got it. Okay. Manor Lord's next update will feature 2 maps for players to enjoy. The update will include new building upgrades and overall the ale and water distribution system. Marketplaces and goods distribution will be updated with the addition of distribution filters based on player feedback. So, in my opinion, this is really good. Because what this tells me, so if I have a marketplace here in Manor Lords, a lot of times it'll get oversaturated with specific goods that you don't want them to pile in there. So now you can filter it and tell them to stop. So this will be nice. The overhaul in water and ale distribution, I think, will be really good if we can do it right to where ale is not so much of an impact, or because the problem with it is you're constantly having to trade from one county to the other for ale. So I don't know what they're really doing on that entirely, but the key highlights on this is 2 new maps, so you're not going to get burnt on doing the same map, which would be nice. And let's see. And there's future updates to follow. So, and Manor sold 2 million copies in 3 weeks without any features, and it was very, very robust. It had a lot of detail to it. I liked the way that you build roads and you could set things up. It was really cool. But unfortunately, with all things, one developer trying to do this all takes a lot of time. It's just one guy that's doing this game. So yeah, the updates are going to be slow and it takes forever to do. And I feel bad for the guy, But I can't really say entirely I feel bad because he's made a lot of money off this game. So I am very happy for him. But it's good to see that there's some rumblings about it, because I was really concerned that we weren't going to see more Manor Lords. That was part of my problem, is I was very bored at a certain point with Manor Lords, because you can only do the same map, same stuff, and you're always looking for the same type of land no matter what. You're always looking for either a full green field, or you're looking for this certain star for unlimited metal, whatever. And just at some point, it got boring. I love the game, but even I just got burned out on it. It was just like, wow, you can only do so much. I mean, yeah, you have different builds you can do, but at some point, it's like anything else you do repeatedly, and you just are waiting for updates because they slow down. So this is a great thing to see. I think this will revitalize things. And Andy says, I suggest them adding honey mead to make the need for ALS impactful on approval. Yes, I think that would be good, and it would give a reason to have more honey. Do honey farms, which I think would be fantastic, Andy. So I'm hoping that they'll continue to update it, but at least with the Manor Lords developer, he does listen to his viewer base, his gamers, and does take feedback very thoughtful, which is something I will say I wish a lot more developers did. So if you haven't checked out Manor Lords, which we are coming to my top 10 Black Friday Christmas list, or not Christmas list, or sale list to keep in mind for. This one was not on there because when I made it, well, I haven't really seen much updates on it. So if I don't see a lot of updates nowadays, I kind of start dialing it back a little bit, because now that we're going back in the news and we're talking stuff, I don't want to be that one guy that recommends something that I don't even play right now. I can't do it. I can't justify it. I just, no. So we'll switch back here for a second. For a while, Shark Gaming had developers here watching Strat and Tatcats builds were instructive. Yeah, that was something that was cool if you had a chance to do that stuff. I'll be honest with you, I wish I could do stuff like that, but with my time being so finite between work, my day job, and then family and health at the moment, it's kind of, I just don't have the time and day like I used to show everything. Now I can figure out and break stuff, but by the time I do that, somebody else has already got the guide up or has already discovered it. So it's at one point I'm like, meh. I think you were the one that told me from another person's stream though about the road thing, which was really cool. I remember that, but yeah. All right, so let's look on the notes here. All right. Like I said, I had a laundry list of stuff to talk about tonight on DGen and Green Stream. So, just a lot of stuff. Yeah, like I said, Andy, this is my second job. I do this as a career too, but it's not my breadwinner. I have to do my breadwinner during the day so I can do this till this changes. And one of the inspirations that I'll say that has always inspired me, one of my coworkers quit her job 6 months ago. She was making $10,000 a month doing blogging. She quit her job. She is completely independent. I would love to do that. I'd love to be able to have the time to sit there and break everything down to its finest format, set out do guides early on. But you know, a lot of the gurus out there were saying, "Hey, you got to do guides. You got to do this stuff." The problem with the guides, somebody's beat you to it. By the time you get it, if you don't get a copy of it 2-3 weeks early in advance, early access before it goes public, by the time you get out there, there's already about 20 creators that already have a guide out for it. You've lost out on that. And that's just the way it is. Yeah. Game testing is entry level in the industry. And the other thing is, I like streaming. I love interacting with my viewers. That's the most important thing I enjoy. My goal is to put a smile on your guys' face, make you guys feel like, you know, at home. You realize that you're not alone out there, and a lot of that stuff that we click. That's why I'm more of a variety streamer when it comes to that. I have 2 talk show, 3 at this point, and then I also have games that I play too. It's because that's the whole goal with it is, you guys are part of the family, my community, and I constantly am trying to improve the show. You know, that's why we're doing new technology Streamlabs. I'd like to get a new shirt or mic to improve my sound quality, GLXR sound booster, which that's coming, but that, all that's work in process because that's expensive. And I also may or may not be having a VTuber model possibly being made in the future, just for when I don't feel like being on camera. When it's like in the summer, it's 100 degrees and I don't feel like sitting in my shirt. May do something like that. I don't know. It's something fun to think about. So this was the latest news that I kind of was interested about with this is Project Zomboid. This one is on my list. It has desperately been in dire need for an update. And we're going to move this over here, make sure this works. I'll make sure everything's covered. Okay. All right, so Streamlabs, you better not disappoint me. And Eddie says, once you have a fan following of sufficient size where you can count on revenue, you can make the leap. Otherwise, you get some good conversations while you play. It's difference between playing on a weekend softball team and move up and major. Oh, 100%. And the thing is, you could put in, and there's some weeks I'll put in 40 hours a week between streaming and planning and working on this stuff. But you're still in the minors. You're still waiting for that. Put me in, coach. Put me in, so I can hit that homer and move to the majors. So, and sometimes it's also finding the algorithm. It's just trying to get find the right audience, the right community, and that stuff takes the longest. I think that's the one that's always going to be the struggle. It always will be. I mean, that's just the way, the nature of the beast. Yeah. And editing shorts and edited videos help reach the algorithm. And that's the trick that I'm trying to figure out between the news, interviews that I'm doing, which I'm trying to get some game developers on. For interviews for me, I do VTubers, content creators, and game developers. and anybody else that I find interesting to share their stories on my channel. But it just kind of depends on that. So the next one that we're going to talk about, hopefully it switched over correctly. It did. Okay, so Project Zomboid's another one of my loves, and one of those games that I've always been incredibly passionate about. This is on Project Zomboid, October 31st. They haven't given an update in about a month, but they've external testers and around B42, and the impression's been positive. They're doing some more feedback. They messed with the darkness. They made it feel more like a post-apocalyptic world. I'm not going to click on their YouTube videos. You can check this out on their website. But they took away a lot of the zombies out in the middle of the country and made the roads more feel like desolate, where you have no idea what's going to make you feel like you're really out there alone. And the town itself is more crawling with zombies. And then so far the feedback they said has been extremely positive, like how the door swings open, it feels smoother, there's a basement, and so there's a lot of good feeling. They say it's more terrifying, more suspenseful, and so I'm really looking forward to this. And they said that the new changes to the crafting and all that's really beautiful. So they're making combat a lot better, brushing up the crafting UI because they weren't happy with it. And now you can hunt for animals out in the wilderness to survive for food, which will be really cool. They're really working on trying to improve a lot of this. They're trying to work on Zed awareness and stealth to try to make it a little bit better. And then they're working on all sorts of new materials to make you feel like you're really in this living, breathing world of a zombie apocalypse. Last news that I heard about Project Zomboid was that Alpha 42 is probably dropping at the end of the year. So if it does, stay tuned on that, because that could be a lot of fun. My biggest problem with a lot of these games, they take so long to get a new update out, even with the team. I don't know really what goes on behind the scenes, can't really say. But a lot of the problem that I see with it is you run into a lot of these problems, so it takes a while. Andy says, I do wish that game developers hired good writers. The story takes a game from once in a while, wind down after work, something the size of Warcraft. Yeah, I really wish, because a lot of things with this is a lot of these survival games, they don't have a deep story to it. And that's the same problem with 7 Days to Die. So you don't really feel like you're deep into the lore. You're just fighting zombies. I do wish they had more to it. But at least there's some hope that, we'll see something soon with Project Zomboid. All right, so hang on to your butts, guys. We're on Soul Mass time. So hop on your mountain, ready to rush, as they say. So the Soul Mass annual update has came out. It's on sale right now, so you get that in the free DLC. I'll just go and say this right now. If you want one of the best games where you have guys that do work for you, you go out and try to find them just like you would pals in Power World, and you're looking for the best stats on them, looking for the best traits. This game is a lot of fun. This is probably hands down one of my favorite survival games right now. The building is very simple but robust. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. We have an island base, and this is incredible. And let's see, Andy says, even if you take even a good story from a book or movie, it isn't written with a game in mind. This is true. And the ballista mounted on pachyderms is wild. Yeah, I love this picture here. I just love that. So this is pretty cool. So you have new ways to explore. We had llamas and big cats. Now we have mammoths, war elephants. So they can be cargo carriers. They can be a weapon or a mobile home. So you can do pretty much have all sorts of really cool stuff on this. It's a versatile mount with unprecedented functionality. And so you can have a hot spring on the move, a throne. So pretty much supports everything from my camp, and it can be a siege weapon. This looks badass. I really, really want to dive into this because to me, these war elephants look badass. And I really, this is the one thing that I will say what I like about games like Soul Mask. They really put effort into it. They listen to their players. When the game first came out and people weren't happy that your character was a nobody and you couldn't improve them or anything, guess what they did? They listened to the community. They thought about it. They came up with alternatives and ways to do it to make your character even better. That's what it's about. That's what good developers do. My disappointment with Soul Mask is it's not well advertised. It's not well marketed. This game is a treasure that has not been discovered hardly, which is disappointing. When I looked at their sales numbers, I was disappointed. You know, I've seen so many other games where their sales it's a home run. The marketing just wasn't there as good. And to me, this has been a fantastic game with boss fighting, exploring, trying to find the right minions. I love everything you have with this. So, diving further into this, you can also get hang gliders now. So you can jump off cliffs and stuff now and use a hang glider to fly around. And your airtime is only limited by skill. So yes, if you know how to manipulate the air with your hang glider, you can fly around infinitely. Kind of like you could in Sons of the Forest. If you knew what you were doing, you could just keep flying around. I think this is amazing. I think this is a great idea. And so they had some winter-themed features like reindeer to join the stables. They can pull sleds, which I think is really cool. This cool holiday cheer, having reindeer. This sled looks freaking awesome. Now, one of the things I look forward to is some of the bosses you'd fight have fire where they ignite and just kick your ass with a devastating fire attack. You can do it now. So basically, you put fuel on your weapons and ignite them. So basically, you too can do exactly what they do. So, and it has a chance to inflict multiple debuffs on enemies. And Andy says the keys are backwards. On gliding, pushing forward gives lift when it should dive. That'll confuse people. And they have a gas canister which rapidly raises enemies' toxin. So if you want to deal with archers, you have a way to poison. This freaking is cool. I'm looking forward to this part. New map events, plunder events, and bosses. So throughout your fearless exploration, the true face of the world is revealed to your tribesmen, but you're not alone in your pursuits. The ruthless plunderers have grown bolder, their expeditions to ancient ruins more frequent than ever. Armed with ancient technologies, they seek to dominate these lands, and their expedition tracks are now plain to see. Meanwhile, tribes are racing to secure resources, strangling and arming themselves for what's to come. Look, there's another mining convoy moving across the horizon, heavy with precious cargo. So this is whatever happens, is a golden opportunity for all chieftains. Keep your eye out on those new markers on the world map. Whether you're catching plunderers with their guard down after their successful raids or stumble upon chaos of plunders and transport teams crossing paths, We must seize every chance. Don't hesitate, make your move. You'll find massive mineral deposits, precious ancient artifacts, premium weapons, gears, tools, plus those extra special rewards like rare mount cubs and high quality gliders. This is badass. This is something you look forward to in a game. So not only are you exploring or are you trying to find the right guys, now you can make sure you're paying attention to the map to see when an event's happening. And this is a permanent feature in this game. So now you can let the hunt begin. This is freaking awesome. The fact that you now have so much variety of content to do in this game is fantastic. I love it. They need to keep this up. And then the expeditions come with powerful barbarian escorts, perfect recruitment targets. While plunder rune expeditions are more devious, they hide additional bodyguards nearby. They're ready to ambush. The new Shadow Blade Assassin machine they have for the plunder. This one looks awesome. Like the attack moves look freaking amazing. Then they also added an honor arena. So if you're ready to prove the metal against your mightiest tribesmen, your chance to come. Honor arena forged through the lines of the great tribes about to open the gates. So you can send your own tribal warriors that you raise up, train, fight, send them in there to fight. And looks like you can see how well they perform. You'll get rewards, exclusive emotes, things like that. I think that's pretty cool. And they also added new animal breeding. So they introduced a large beast trap for capturing bison. You can have bison now, giant elephants, and moose. And then you can also find giant eggs from tortoises and horned eagles in the wild. And if you sneak and capture them, you can raise baby tortoises and horned eagles in your husbandry. They had premium resources, but add a variety in the settlement. So I think this is freaking awesome. And then their free DLC is Obsidian themed build, which looks really cool. So it's free that you can get all this stuff. I absolutely love this decoration. I think I'll have to redesign my base at some point with this. They added some more outdoor decorations for your bases. This is their new Cozy Tribe theme pack. And then they also have photo mode now. So if you want to preserve it, or great for if you want to make thumbnails or whatever. They did a lot more for controller support. There is some Twitch live drops, which means we'll probably end up having to be on Twitch too at some point, just so we can promote that. All in all, this has been a really good update. I had reservations about them dropping a new DLC and a new map next year for money, but as long as they're doing stuff like this, I don't care. Actually, I think it's supposed to leave early access next year too, which is amazing that this company was able to pull this amount of work, get it done, and get out early access as quick as they did. I barely ran into any bugs in this game, which is just amazing in itself with the AI and how they've been able to do that. This is a game that I would love if I could find some VTubers and some other people that were serious about a collab and challenging ourselves and having a lot of fun banner. I would love to do this game as a collab and just have these wild adventures. And of course, the best thing is bosses and all the difficulty can scale with more people. May have to consider that, Andy. So this is one of the games that I think is on my hot list for a lot of fun, and you know, I'll do my part to try to help market it as much as I can on my end. You know, I'm just a small channel, but hopefully one day they'll change that. So, and then let's go ahead and switch back to the other scene here. All right, so we switched back here. We've got all the stuff we wanted to talk about there. And so our last big talk for the night, which should be a lot of fun. And also, guys, if you haven't yet, What are you waiting for? Smash that like button. Smash it so hard that it'll wake Mike up. Or Orc, whichever one. So, we're going to talk about Christmas or Black Friday shopping list. So, these are my top 10 games that I think you should look out for Black Friday if you have not got them yet. I am not sponsored by them. This is based on how fun they are, how much fun they can be with other people, solo, how much diverse things you can do in it, and why. And I'm going to explain why on each one. So keep in mind, these are not in any order, but I have to basically go down a scaling list here because if I don't, I'm going to miss one or whatnot. So bear with me as I go through all these. And if you have any questions, I will answer them after I go through this list. It is kind of in depth. So top 10 games to consider for Black Friday. The first one is V Rising. V Rising is one of those overlooked vampire action survival games that's plays like an RPG that is one of those that is really missed. It's got a lot of Castlevania themed stuff. So if you loved Konami's Castlevania, it does have a lot of the features in there. They did a partnership with it. So you start as a vampire that has no powers, no nothing, awaken from your slumber, and you're trying to regain your power and retake your throne. It's great for PvP. It's great for solo. And what you do is you build your castles, you build your domain, you increase your realm by making more vampires. And you get more powers by fighting bosses. The bosses are decent, but it scales up as you get harder and harder in difficulty. So as it's going to get a steep learning curve as you increase in boss fights. I think around level 50, you're going to notice that it's kind of a shift in difficulty, and it's going to get a lot harder. There's different mechanics, and then as they get their health down, the bosses will change mechanics up or add new mechanics. But the whole core is still building up your vampire empire, collecting resources. So yes, you will be out there collecting wood. You'll be trying to find resources in towns, fighting the local different factions. There's several different factions, including Dracula's forces that are loyal to him. And the cool thing is there's also buffs. So you can have different play styles, and that's based on drinking the blood of certain NPCs and the quality of the blood. So like there's one that's a lifesteal, tanky one. There's one that's based on damage and crit. There's one if you want to play spellcaster. So there's a lot to look at in this all-encompassing game. So that's why I still highly recommend this game that people have not seen marketed as much. And it's disappointing because that is a hidden gem. And we will go back to V Rising at some point ourselves on a stream, so we can finish that because they're continuously adding new content. There's a new realm coming up that's post Dracula, so stay tuned on that one. Next one, and I know that some people are going to have a smile on their face when I say it, Soul Mask. Soul Mask is a survival action adventure where you gather wood, ores, rocks, you look for materials, you fight bandits, you fight tribes, you go through different camps to try to build your empire. And the really cool thing at this is it uses a unique system that tells NPCs what to do in your base so you don't have to do it for you. If you want them to gather wood, they will gather wood for you. If you want them to collect grass, they'll collect grass for you. You can set up outposts where they can start gathering metals. You can also set them up for husbandry. There's also all sorts of cool mounts in. There's jaguars, there's llamas, there's alpacas, there's elephants officially as of November 25th. You can also get a hang glider. You can fly. Your goal is basically to fight all these different bosses, unlock the technology, and follow the storyline that it has. Where the whole theme of it is your character is now immortal based on the mask that they wear. They can transfer conscientious to another vessel at will. They can improve their character through changing up their DNA basically through this ancient technology, but it starts you off in a jungle, and it has multiple biomes, which includes a volcano area, it includes a highlands, it includes a winter, and a radiated desert area. It's so much fun and great with friends. I highly recommend that one. All right, number 8, I guess I should say, because we got to make sure we do this right. Project Zomboid. So Project Zomboid is one of those old school top-down isometric games where you are trying to survive to make sure that you are going to live through the zombie apocalypse. But here's the thing. You will eventually die. That is the name of the game. So don't get attached to your character too long, because the goal is to see how many days, how many years you can survive. You can adjust the server settings as much as you want to add further challenges. It has a great modding section, and the developers support the modding community very well to add all sorts of new tools. They are working on their Alpha 42, which is a whole new game changer. So if it is on sale on Black Friday, I highly recommend this game. It is a timeless classic that has been out for many years, but it's easily missed. Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta have some tea, and I'm gonna answer some questions before I go through this next list. Ivan says, V-Rise is not much to be shown as a vampire RPG. Did they miss something out? I don't know. I just don't know if it was marketed enough. It's a fantastic game, but I just never seen it stay high on there, or it's like a word of mouth. It's kind of like Soul Mass. It's like hidden gems that you find, but you never really see. And I find that really interesting, but it's a great vampire game. Now, it's not like Vampire the Masquerade by any means, but the fact that we have something out there is really cool. All right. Long-winded here. So we're on 10, 9, 8. Number 7, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. It is a fantastic roguelike game that allows you to play single or co-op, which I absolutely love. As one of the 4 brothers of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe, with having a lot of familiar bosses that you would face that you see in the comics, cartoons, and it has a unique story, but it also shows the great Turtles personality. Even if you beat it the first time, that's when the real game opens up, and you're going to see that now you have all these trials, tribulations. Every time you go through it is a different playthrough, different monsters, different dangers, and the goal is to find and unlock secret powers that make your character stronger. That way you can get all the way to the end and eventually beat the game. It's one of those games that you can play for hours, and it's one of those great ones that, hey, on a Friday night, you get 4 buddies together, you get some beer or whatever, drink, and you have some good laughs. It's very throwback to the old arcades, and I highly recommend that one. All right, so number 6 is one that just came up on my list, and it's been a very addicting game, and that is Elin. It's a roguelike game when it comes to the dungeons, but it's also an RPG and a town builder. You can structure your towns the way you want, get people that you want specifically in there, build stores, build a tourist area. You could build a fishing hub. There's all sorts of things you can do. It's an RPG where you choose a character with multiple classes, different races that you can choose from, all with strengths and weaknesses, and you explore the world, and there's a storyline that's going into it. There's a lot of different places, and as you go through the world, there's all these different dungeons called Nephia. As you explore them, it's going to be constantly different. There's going to be different monsters. It's a true maze. No dungeon is the same. You're going to find loot. There's a lot of different play styles you can do. There's all sorts of quests. It is very in-depth, and there's a whole skill tree where you can continue to develop your character. So there's really no wrong way to play. It is reminiscent, a throwback to the old like Super Nintendo days, but it is still something that if you want something a little bit better than like Stardew Valley, I highly recommend this one. If you guys have any questions, I will go. I'm still going through this list. Holy crap. And part of it is I was trying to figure out how to get this Black Friday list out, because I've had so much stuff to do, and I'm like, holy crap, I need to get all this information out. So you might see some of this being edited later on to have for some small videos edit, like Andy was talking about earlier, you know, editing and getting some videos out and stuff. That was the idea on this. And I was thinking we need to get a Christmas list out and we need to get a Black Friday list out. So we have quite a bit. And so I am marketing a little bit on this, but, you know, I'm appealing to other gamers, which I thought was pretty cool. All right. So we have covered 5. All right. So number 5, we have Enshrouded. This is an action-adventure RPG. It's also a survival where you build your own base. You go out and rescue NPCs to help further empower your base. And you are the last Flameborn. You're here to extinguish the mists, and you go through dungeons and different areas, having intense boss fights, exploring. But be careful, if you die, you know, you'll have to start. If you die, I'm trying to think how to word this. If you die, you will have to figure out how to do it. Some places may be too strong for you, so you have to back out. It's all about trial and error. But there's different weapons that are stronger against enemies, and there's flying, there's magic. You can pretty much be anything you want in that, as long as you find the weapons, the magic, the skills to do it. It's one of those games that is very relaxing, but it can also be very intense. There is currently no like invasions or anything for your base, so you can sit there and craft all day long if you want. But it's one of those that, yes, it's a lot of fun and continue to be actively updated with new dungeons, new worlds, new story. So definitely check that out. Number 4 is Crusader Kings 3. So I'm a grand strategy player. I love doing strategy and like seeing what can happen. But Crusader Kings 3 takes it to a whole new level. And the whole new level is you can be a ruler, you can be a nobody, you could be somebody working for a great leader, you could be a guy ready to overthrow the empire and take it for yourself, or destroy the empire. You can pretty much do anything you want. You can be a family man, you can marriage, you can plot against other lords, you can pretty much do anything damn near that you imagine. And the mod community is really great with that. And Paradox did release a great DLC that came out where you could play a nobody and work your way up to become a great Khan, a great conqueror, great pretty much anything, or you just have a mercenary company that you pass off to your children as you continue to go through life. And you can see what generations bring as you continue to lead your company. Or you could be a missionary that tries to convert religions. I mean, there's so much you can do. Crusader Kings 3. That's why it's still on my list. And then we are going to go with number 3. So this game's been out for a while, and while new players will find it fun, as for me, there's some criticism about the game, but it's one of the OG original zombie survival games, or aka Minecraft for adults, and that is 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die is a zombie survival game where you build base, you explore, loot, and every 7 days, zombies will come attack your base and try to destroy everything that you have. It's your job to kind of figure out how to outsmart the zombies, how to defend yourself, and every blood moon, aka every 7 days, the monsters get harder, and you gotta be quicker to improvise and figure out how you want to do it. It uses an older system of I don't want to say voxel gaming. Actually, I can't remember. I think it's some type of Unity system on that, but it's been in development for 10 years. Recently just came out of early access. They say they're still going to continue to add stuff to the game, but it's one of those timeless classics that I really do enjoy. So if you are interested in this, definitely get it on sale. I do not recommend buying it at full price. So always wait for a sale if you can get it, because technically I still don't feel it's fully done, but it is still a fun game, especially if you can get some friends together. Just know that sometimes you will need a beefy computer to handle this game. That's why I just given that disclaimer. Number 2, this one is another gem that is not shown, and I'm very disappointed in this one because it has almost no marketing to it. I mean, they do try on X, but has to be better than the Walking Dead phone game. I'll give you that. Okay, it's a little better than that, but no, it will overheat your video cards and stuff if you don't set the parameters up on 7 days to die. That's one of those things that's like, holy crap, what are we doing here? So, all right, number 2 on the Black Friday list, if you can get it, Sengoku Dynasty. This game has not made it much on the radar, but it takes you back to the age of feudal Japan during the Sengoku period, where all the daimyos were warring and vying for power. And what you do is you build towns, you find resources, you assign villagers to do things, and you kind of build the town any way you want and see it come to life with new recruits, new followers. You do fight bandits and other warlords to take over pieces of land, unlock new technology. The combat system has been pretty fun. I'm actually surprised that this one was pretty much top dog of any Dynasty series game that I've ever played. And it gives you a sense of purpose when you accomplish and beat a region. So you have new tools, new weapons to progress the game. And the roadmap itself is still coming out. There's invasions coming. There's where you're going to have kids, and eventually your character will die and pass on the land to your kids. And yes, you can basically end up becoming the ruler of this area in Japan. So it's one of those games that I really recommend if you want to have a peaceful city building, but also ready to go out and have some action when you want. So it's one of those that you can play as you desire. Fantastic game. And last but not least, number 1. And keep in mind, this is not in any order, Power World. I have multiple reasons why I would suggest Power World. Power World, don't know how long it's gonna be out there on the market. I imagine it'll stay on the market, really, despite the controversy between Nintendo and them right now. I guess they're in some litigation. But the beautiful part about Power World is it takes monster capturing to a whole new level, where you go out and explore the world and capture pals to find the right pals that you like with the right buffs, and you capture a whole bunch and you can start fusing them together, improve their genes, improve their powers. You can also intermingle pals, so you can get new pals born, sometimes even better than their folks. There's always different traits that they have. And the thing that I really like about this game is it's play at your own leisure. Yes, you can turn invasions on and off, but the pals will do all the jobs for you. All you got to do is just let them know what to do. Or if you don't want to do it, they'll do it for you. As long as you have the resources or the machines nearby, they will do it. So it's a fantastic game. It almost feels like a game where you can just chill, say, hey, I want to go capture a bunch of these duck monsters and have a duck army or whatever. And yes, you do have pals that fight with you and when you do boss battles, and they're all based on elements and stuff. So there's several different types. So for example, you may fight an enemy that's fire type, so you better hope you bring some water type, because otherwise if you brought ice or anything that's weak to fire, yeah, you're probably going to be toast. But this one was it, and still is, a very fun game, and even fun to play with friends or solo. So definitely check that out. And that is my top 10 recommendation list for Black Friday for games out there. And so that is the ones I have. Honorable mentions that I will say would be Manor Lords, now that I saw an update. But like I said, Andy, I hadn't seen an update in so long, I was starting to give up on it. So those are the ones that I definitely recommend on that. Oh man, I talked a lot on that one. I have to drink some more tea. And unfortunately, my tea's getting cold now, so I'm running out. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what makes it great. And thank you for the likes, guys. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I think those top 10 games are something that you should consider. I think it's definitely worth it. And you're absolutely correct, Andy. Builder games aren't as popular as first-person shooters. Hell, I even think sometimes survival games aren't as popular as first-person shooters. But you're always going to... For me, I've never been into first-person shooters. I've always been into survival games. I've always been into strategy games. I've been into building games. Hell, I love City Skylines. I can't say the same about City Skylines 2, but... you know, we do what we can on that. I mean, that's about all we can do, really. So, coffee's starting to run, or why did I say coffee? My tea is running low. So, I think for about an hour, we're going to switch over now. And we're going to do a little bit of Elend live. So one thing that I recommended Elend on this because it was addicting. I thought, oh my God, is this game going to be worth a damn? And unfortunately, I got hooked onto it. It seems like such a simplistic game, but the idea that you can build cities, hire the right people to come live in your town, open stores and stuff, it's pretty cool. Explore dungeons. And there is story. They're still working on the story, I guess. This was a Kickstarter project that got like 63 million yen. I think they only asked for like 5 million yen to start the project. So the Kickstarter really took off. So was really shocked. There is a huge following on it, but it just depends on how it's being played and where it's being played. And to answer you, Andy, Age of Empires and StarCraft were your intro. Warcraft 1 was mine. And then I jumped into Warcraft 2. Glad when we had Battle.net Warcraft 2, I played the hell of that with people. Warcraft 3 was my jam. I actually got competitive in Warcraft 3. I think me and my cousin, when we were playing a time before, he got stupid and dropped out of college for thinking he could be a #1 player. We ranked like 800 as a 2v2 in Warcraft 3, which was cool. I always had a lot of fun. I always played Horde. He played Undead. Because Horde rules. Orc's best. I said an Orcosaurus just smiled. But I love that. And I played StarCraft and StarCraft 2 a lot too. Even in PvP. We used to have LAN parties in college, and we'd play StarCraft for hours. The only problem was most of them... So this was a funny story I'll share about StarCraft. Most of them wanted to play StarCraft, and I was still playing Warcraft 3 at the time. And it's like, okay, we'll play some StarCraft. And unfortunately for them, we were doing 4 versus 4. First one, I Zergling rushed a guy right off the bat, and he was not expecting that, and I wiped him out. Which was funny. And still managed to build my army of lurkers and stuff, and basically lurker drop right on one of their bases, and they weren't expecting that. And I was like, okay. And I always enjoyed being nasty with like using every little trick in the book. And the next round we win. Some of them just say, we're done. So we went to a 3 versus 3, and I went Terran. Everybody was turtling but me. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this. So I built Marines and medics and kept harassing all of them, and then I was getting ghosts, and I started building just tons of nuke silos as they're turtling. And so next thing they know is nuclear launch detected. It was hilarious because this guy built like 20 carriers, and so I just hit lockdown on all of them, and then I just nuked them all. I was like, oops, and then sent my Marines and medics in to finish off the battle with tanks. I was like, yeah, that's not going to work out well for them. And I think by like hour 6 or 7, I was getting tired of playing. And this guy kept wanting to 1v1. And I just like, dude, I'm getting tired. And so I just, after probably the 5th or 6th 1v1, I said, dude, I am tired, because he kept trying to figure out how to beat me, and I kept changing the races up on him. And I was like, damn, I missed PvP, but I feel bad because he didn't realize that I was actually competing. And back in the earlier days, 20 years ago, in Warcraft 3, I didn't tell anybody I really was doing that. I was like, probably not. And Sorol is the number 1 Zergum opinion, only one that can keep up with my favorite race, the OP Terran. Yep. Now, StarCraft 2 was a lot of fun. I do miss that. I did not get the DLCs for it, so if Black Friday opens up, I'll get those. I do have a Warcraft review coming out about the Warcraft Battle Chest. Don't get it unless you just want to throw money away. Really didn't improve shit. So I will just say remastered really wasn't remastered. So that's the quick short notes on that review that's coming. Yes, there will be some reviews dropping this week too, on a few games, because as said, I want to start doing heavy duty reviews on it. I'll let you guys know what I think of this. And I played Warcraft once. I'm introduced to WoW, got sucked until paneling. Mine was Wrath of the, or not Wrath of the Lich King, Wrath of the Lich King. Yeah, it was. I played up until there. We did Nax. I used to raid a lot, and we were doing really good, but our healers couldn't keep up at the time, so we ended up ultimately disbanding after months of it. So it just caused a feud in the guild, and that's unfortunately what raiding does. And I've thought about going back to raiding like FF14, but I don't know how many people would really be interested in watching me raid on stream. It's not something that I don't know. Some people do though. I don't know. I haven't done any raiding in a long time. I got asked about it, and I said, yeah, if I can find time in my work schedule for streaming, between streaming, editing, and interviewing, and anything else, I said, I don't know. I said, I may ask my community if they want to see me raid again or raid or whatever, but I'm kind of like, I feel like my days have passed kind of in that stuff, even though I do get the raid itch once in a while. So, yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm going to use the restroom real fast, just because I've downed so much tea, and then we'll switch over to Elin for about an hour, and then we'll keep chatting, guys, in chat. So don't go anywhere. Like I said, love my community, love you guys hanging out. You guys are awesome, and I'm glad you guys are hanging out with the tea time with me tonight. And like I said, tomorrow we'll be having a streamathon, as well as Thanksgiving after I have dinner. That's why it says to be determined, because I don't know the exact time. I'm going to start that one on Thursday. So give me 1 second. I will be right back. And let's see. Eddie says, well, has seen success in classic hardcore and Seasons of Discovery. Yeah, I agree with that. I do wish they had continued to do RTS like Warcraft 4 and StarCraft 3. I think that was something that Blizzard Activision should have stuck to. And yes, I love Age of Empires too. I have talked about doing more streams on Age of Empires on this channel, as well as streams on potentially a few more different strategy games like that. So if you guys want to see me do Age of Empires 2 remastered, Age of Empires 3, I'm down with that. I do not have Age of Empires 4, and right now it doesn't look as good as Age of Empires 2, so I'll kind of leave it at that. So we're going to continue Lunara here. Bought a horse. So the thing about it, a lot of people look at this and think, oh my god, the graphics, it looks like something for Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It's not bad. It's a kind of a retro thing, but you know, you go through the town trying to get stuff you need. In this case, I had to go buy food earlier because I was starving. Poor guy character is tired, starving, because I've been building an outpost. And of course, it is skill based, so you have all sorts of things that you're doing with the skill base. And one of the things that I've really liked about this game has just been all the different methodology. Of course, it looks like some of our food keeps expiring or something. I don't know what's up with that. But we can buy, eventually we can make all this fancy food ourselves. Right now, we just don't have the means yet. So this is just a town that I'm visiting. We expanded and we have 2 outposts now. And eventually we can build even more. But I'm not fighting these guys. As we're heading over to the outpost. And we have another bill. I have no idea what these bills keep coming from, but I think it has to do with maybe somebody shipping this stuff back. I don't know. I guess they didn't like us sending junk. So what I've done, this is a mining town. So we have our mine here that we can actually go into to collect ore. And what we're doing with this is trying to build up our area. We got a fishing area that we're working on here to get more water. And then we've got another future town over here. I'm not a town, but a building, probably a general store. We'll have another one here. And then we have a dojo. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with this. And the reason I said it's in some ways like Stardew is because, yeah, you do sell stuff to get money. In this case, I'm just selling them all this stuff again. Probably don't like me just tossing my junk and selling and say, here you go, have my junk. I don't really think you want it, but you're getting it. But this town is still under so much work that I don't have everything quite set up the way I want. And this one has to grow. Speaking of which, I should change the policy on this to increase the growth of it. Because in order to progress the story to get the mining, we have to do that. There's anti-littering. So every area we get to has different little features. This one here has land with little food supply, but it had a lot more points. So where we can't do a lot of gardening or farms, we can do a lot of other things. Like we make this a tourist area. We can really make this a heavy mining colony. We're going to be building more fishing areas. And that's kind of our goal, is to make a really cool fishing area and make a ton of money on it. And occasionally we get world encounters as we're going through here that we can fight or don't fight. And sometimes we do fight. This one, I'm not really going to fight these guys as much as I would like to. Oops, I didn't want to jump in the ocean. But we get tools and stuff. Like I found this bottomless pot that I made that I can still water here, which I think is really cool. And we can build the lake up at our base. That way we have multiple fishing areas, so we can have people providing fish and food. My original base that I have right now is a hub to basically make tons and tons of booze. So if you want to get drunk, that's definitely a way to go. And one thing I've liked about this game is there really is no wrong way of playing this game. There's a lot of different builds and stuff. In this case, I think that's just going bad, maybe. Guess we're gonna sleep here. We're too tired to keep going. But yeah, I've thought about doing more live streams of some more RTS too on the channel. So if that's something folks are interested in, I'm more than happy to consider that too. It looks like they sent me money back saying, hey, we don't want your crap. Yeah, they shipped it all back, saying we don't want your junk. That's hilarious. I find that whole situation hilarious. Dude, stop sending us your crap. What do you think you are? The trash service? It's like, yes, I do think you are, actually. Okay, so however this works is, now we tore up the land here. There's different levels. I always go too deep. Otherwise, if you go deeper, you can start drowning. So I don't want to have anybody risk drowning. But they fish on their own, so it's pretty cool when they do this. And it's kind of tricky how I do this, because we want to make sure we build a nice little area here. And we're just turning this desolate wasteland into thriving towns. So like I have to go steal more water if I want. And we got one guy already doing fishing. And then we use our money and we can see if there's anybody else that we can hire. We just have a historian, somebody good at cleaning. Cleaning would not be bad, but we don't need that right away. So we'll have to go get some more water. We're not doing any real quests right now because we're focused on building this frontier up. And part of our goal is we got to get this up to level 2 so we can unlock the mining colony, so we can start building all sorts of mines and make this a lot of fun. I mean, that's going to be the end goal here. So we got to see what we can do. And I need to change something up real fast, guys. Bear with me. That's one thing I always tell people is just remember that, you know, the variety streamer, in my opinion, you know, is probably the best. I've seen too many content creators get pigeonhole themselves into one topic or one thing, and then they're basically like in quicksand and they can never get out. And my goal has always been to make sure that we have the most fun as we can. And I like showcasing a lot of these games that are hidden gems that you just don't know much about. Okay, there we go. Had to fix something there. But I've noticed, and I was actually impressed. I saw there's several content creators actually starting to play this, and it's starting to make some more waves, which I thought was really cool seeing that, because I was telling people this is one of those gems that got missed so easy. Oh, guess they're forcing me to fight. Aw. Okay. Well, that's their mistake, because I have a gun and blade. So these little metals that I get, I collected enough of them. I found a blacksmith area that allowed me to buy swords and spears and stuff. Each one is like a legendary. This one took a little bit, but I have a gun blade, so it shoots bullets out of it, and it also has a chance on proc to basically ignite and shoot a lightning bolt out of it. So I was like, holy crap, this is cool. So I did unfortunately replace my sword at one point. Oh, damn, this lake's frozen. I forgot about that. Now, what happened to my... Oh, there's my cooler. It's like, what? What happened to my cooler here? It's going to turn winter. I'm not going to be able to fill up anymore, but I'm going to steal these pillars anyway, because it's free money. Well, looks like they're all hanging out, just having a good time. Yep, I can't do anything with the lake now, or the ocean. So we're SOL unless we find water inside a cave, which we might at some point. And we're just riding through a lot of this overworld stuff since we are on a mission. We may have to go collect some wood now, just continue to build our empire up. I have no idea why everybody's fighting when I get back to town, but okay. You guys do that. And pay that tax bill. Hey, there's the tax man. Oh, we got another fisher. So the cool thing is we can keep expanding our fishing. They're good on shores. 18 gold for a fisherman. Okay. Now, granted, the lake's frozen, but we'll take it. So we have 19 and 21 here. This kind of shows the statistics of everything and kind of shows where we're at level-wise. There's a lot of different feats. This is like fertile land. I do believe we can improve that over time. So there's a lot of things we can do here. And then this one here will show all my residents. I have more fishing guys, so this is amateur. But I keep building up these fishing guys because they improve their skills over time. And essentially, we are making a lot of booze off fish. So what we do is we go to the sawmill and we cut these fish up and get all the scales. And this is what supplied me with lots of money for my operation. So, you know, I'm kind of one of those guys that said they're making booze all the time. But we put these in the brewery, and this will get us some bonito wine, and we sell it. Keep making more money. and it pays for the taxes and everything else. This area hasn't been fully developed yet. We've got a lot we can still do here. This one was going to be reimagined as kind of like a keep, but I may end up moving this stuff at some point. Haven't really ultimately decided yet. We have a lot of our main party members here in this town, but we built it kind of like a walled keep. And then, of course, we can go into these caves here and get stuff if we want. But we're going back up north to go collect more resources to continue building our base. That's one of the main things we want to do, is just keep building, because we want to pretty much build this really badass town. And a lot of the stuff we're going to fight out here is just going to be low tier stuff, so we don't really have anything to worry about. A lot of this stuff's going to be defeated either by the mount that I'm riding or my companion that's basically technically sitting on my shoulders, so to speak. So we needed to get more oak for our base. I've been also conserving a lot of my magic, because while I am getting new spells every night I sleep and stockpiling that, I want to make sure I have plenty for when we go to do some major boss battles and some of the harder tier dungeons, because we've been getting kind of our butt kicked at level 20. And so it's a matter of just making sure that we get strong enough that we don't have that problem. And of course, as our lumberjacking skill improves and as we get new material, all this gathering stuff gets so much quicker and so much simpler. And let's see. Oh, cool. My mining town did just level up, so that means we can progress into the mine, which will be good. So we're going to have to do that. So once we get that, now we can go further in the mine and even get more ore than normal, which will allow us to really kick some butt. And definitely looking forward to going all out and full bore on this whole mining operation, which is something that we definitely want to do. Okay, we cleared everything here for trees. I guess we can see what's here. I just want to quickly chop these down and move on forward, if we can. And there's a chest here. Oh, nice. Straw war sickle. Chest really didn't have anything good, but we'll take the we will definitely take the tapestry and use that for our base. So we do have a lot of things we can do there. Hey, what are you guys doing? Go away. These little guys. Oh, he's trying to bother me. It's like they should know when they've been conquered. Let's see. I don't see anything special here as far as I need to be worried about. They sent me back their trash. We're still going to be that one guy and just throw him trash. Be like, here you go. All right, we got that done. Oh, voice echoing from me, Grar. I am the Steel Dragon Gorgon, offered the red-haired girl as a sacrifice. Leave you cherish your pitiful lives. Huh. So we're going to fight a dragon. They're wanting to they're not going to sacrifice their... I'm talking about a dragon craving gold in the mines. Yeah, well, there's something about dragons always hoarding all their money. Yeah, I mean, I think dragons would be accountants if they could, guys. I'm just saying. I think every dragon would be an accountant. All right, we're going to go in and go check, investigate, and maybe go fight a dragon. I kind of wanted to slay the dragon. There's only one real dragon lord. Oh, let's go in and go fight this dragon. Says I got my gun blade. This floor has a lot of copper in it. Lots of copper. Oh, silver too. Onyx. Okay, this one has a lot of good stuff. Maybe we should stop and get that first before we go down further. Because there's definitely some decent stuff here. Definitely loving the gun blade, though. There's that gnome again. Pesky gnome. Oh, once we're ready to confront, we have to go back down. That's fine. We'll go confront in a moment. I'm going to steal this ore. This is a treasure trove of ore. It'll be great once we get this operating as a mining town. But for now, we need this for our mad science projects. It's all about the mad science projects. Always gotta have those mad science projects. That's what makes it important. Hey, I didn't even have to fight that guy. He just got destroyed. Lots of silver here. Oh, more onyx. And the cool thing is you can go up to level 100 in skills in this game. And there is a lot of different skills. So there is training. And to speed it up, you would have to buy more skill boosts. But the skill boost is pretty easy. You just get platinum coins by completing missions. So you can level up particular skills a lot faster. It does cost more if you want to push it higher and higher quicker. But if you have a lot of platinum coins to spare, it's not a big deal too much, usually. And we got iron here. Let's toss that there. We don't need that trash. I mean, one man's trash is another person's treasure usually, but not in this case. After all, we're making this town very successful in what we can do as soon as possible. And we do need this metal to help continue to build the town. We got a lot of stuff to do in the township too. But we are going to go fight a dragon. Because, you know, we got to go slay the dragon. But I will tell everybody, thank you for hanging out on Tea Time with the Dragon tonight stream. You guys have been awesome. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow night we'll be doing a lot of streaming again. I mean, we do a lot of streaming in general. So if you're new, definitely consider subscribing. We, oh crap, I stream 5-6 nights a week and we love hanging out with the community, talking and bantering and doing stuff like this. So playing all sorts of different games as we can. And let's drop that off. Oh, good. We have room here. I didn't think I had blueberries. No, I do now. Well, did anyway. And I'm going to put the watering pot in here just in case that fire breath does decide to torpedo everything. Just because you never know what's going to happen. And then we don't have enough nails. So we got to make a draft table and a few other things. Let's see what we got in here. More bone. Cool. That's done. And then we need to make more stone. Let's go and do that real fast. Perfect. That's done. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. No. Actually, that's a good question, Andy. I chose a succubus for my race. There's all sorts of different characters. In fact, I'll save real fast and I'll show you. It's a really good question. So let me go back to the title screen here. So if I want to make a new adventurer, you can choose pretty much whatever you want to be. And you can choose your name and you can choose your origin story. So this is the races. This is the kind of the starting races that they recommend, unless you want to dive into some more things. So yes, you can be a fairy, which your strength's going to be the worst because you're just this tiny winged creature. Then there's different types of humans. And then there is the chaos shape, which basically they barely retain their human form. They get new parts as they grow. And so that's pretty cool. Basically, you can be considered a snail. And then undead. You can change your portrait pretty much to anything. I mean, you could be... They have all sorts of different portraits you can do here. And so you can kind of change your character's appearance. There's even mods already out to do that. This is all your class that you can be. You can start as a farmer if you wanted to. Now, if you go down here to extra races and classes, Andy says, cool, always wondered what kind of person would play a human in a fantasy game if there were fantasy races available. Looking at y'all, Alliance. So true about the Alliance, so true. So down here, you can be a demigod if you wanted to, a succubus. Nifu and Mifu are fox people, just different religions. You could be a golem, so you're a magical like iron or rock dude. You can be a wraith, which basically means you're a ghost. So yeah, there's different things you can be here. So it's a lot of flexibility. So the character I started with was pretty much a succubus because it just seemed like, well, it's a funny story. Actually, now that I say that, one of my viewer, Ramcross, said, I kind of want to see you play a succubus. And was laughing, and I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So I was like, well, here we are. Roll forward. He got what he wanted. I end up doing what the viewers wanted. But yeah, like there's different faiths, different gods. In fact, if you change your religion in this, the god will come down basically and smite you by throwing a heavy barbell on you where you can't hardly walk, and basically laugh his ass off and say, well, this is your punishment for betraying me, yada, yada, yada. So Yeah, you do have to deal with those guys too, being complete jerks. Okay, so to make a kiln, we need clay. Oh, we need cut stone. I don't think we have any more cut stone, do we? Nope. We have to go find some here. And that's the nice thing. Some of the stuff respawns here, so I don't have to leave the zone. But you can if you really wanted to. And you do tire out, but as you get stronger, you can do more activities every day. So, I mean, this is probably not... This isn't even mid-game, I don't think, to be honest. That's the cool thing about this one. You can just keep going infinitely. The level cap is at 100 for each skill, but it'll take you a while to get there. And if you're leveling all the skills, you're a madman. But, you know, some people do that for a challenge. They say, challenge accepted. And then they dive right into it. I'm probably one of those guys that did that. Like, challenge accepted. Why not? Let's just see what kind of fun we can bring. So, I've been very guilty of that over time, too. I don't know who keeps throwing bills my way. So we're just going to destroy most of this stuff. So I don't know why we keep getting bills. Andy says, my D&D home group once decided to have an emo game. I had a concept of a guy who wanted to be a paladin, but just didn't have a 17 charisma. He was very likable, though. When I was playing Baldur's Gate, which somebody was talking about potentially doing a playthrough with me, we'd probably just record it off camera, and then I'd have to do some editing or something if we do it, to do some Baldur's Gate as well. But I ran around with a warlock all the time. I had such high charisma, it didn't even matter. Everybody liked my character. My favorite is run around at that point like a paladin or whatever. I did a paladin warlock combo. That was an interesting choice. Not sure I'd do it again, but probably I would. And let's throw that on there. There we go. All right, let's go and play with the dragon. Oh. Okay, so Kettle has some items prepared. Let's see if he's got fireproof stuff. Oh, I thought... Okay, I guess he didn't have that. Oh, there's my fire equipment. I was like, okay, what the hell? Let's see what we got for recruits. We got a blacksmith. I want that blacksmith. There we go. Mining town, got to have a blacksmith. And he says, my character introduction was the cleric walks in the pub and several patrons yell at his name like Norm on Cheers. Oh, God, that's hilarious. Wow. And he twirls the barmaid around and dips her and coming up with beers she had and dropped them on the table, spun the chair around backwards. D&D was always better for me when you made a character you could see yourself as. Oh yeah, and definitely that was always a good time. Always 100%. That's something that I miss with D&D is playing characters that you know you'd like. We did a homebrew one, and I played a giant troll. His name was Nam Dialuk, which was Kool-Aid Man spelled backwards. And his one special ability was, oh yeah. His oh yeah was basically he gets psyched up and he wants to put his fists through something, and depending on his dice roll, he may or may not be able to break it. And still, it was always worth it. I remember him saying, "Okay, guys, you need to all say, oh no." I have to have that situation where it's dire and we're in this situation that you got to scream, oh no. And it was ridiculous but funny, all rolled into one. So next thing you know, he'd put his fist through and scream, oh yeah. That was the fun thing about D&D, the timeless fun you had making characters that were fun or absolutely ridiculous. I miss those days. Those are the ones that have fond memories that stay with me and probably will stay with me most of my days, because they're the ones that had the most sentimental value, at least in my opinion. There's my bandages. It's like, where the hell's my bandages at? All right, we're hungry. Guess we'll go play with the dragon now, because I kind of want to go slay the dragon with my gunblade. Going down. Plus, we can see what kind of ore's down here. Now, granted, this cave will change as well every time we go through it, so just because it's ore now doesn't mean it'll be ore later. Well, copper ore later. Which, kind of our goal with this mining town, is to make as much money as we can. Dragon Mage on E had a random name generator. Basically, you can match up the numbers 120 to consonants and 1 to 6 for vowels plus Y. I made a Mongol horse archer and used the name archer to come with it. Stun Grinner. Oh, God. I don't even know what to say on that one, but that is awesome. That's a funny name. It reminds me of some of the funny names you'd get with sometimes WoW name generator. And some of those names would get you in trouble too. I remember one time my buddy had a random and he got in trouble from it. He's like, it was a random name generator. I just liked it and took it because you guys allowed it, apparently. Apparently that didn't work out too well for him. But at least they didn't ban his account, but still pretty darn funny. It's like, yeah, you guys allowed that. You guys should probably fix that, you know, just saying. But I hear hoofbeats. That can't be good. Grabbing all this copper. Man. Okay, let's go down here. Oh, they're throwing me a bone. Damn, all this copper, guys. Man, we're gonna make so much stuff out of this copper at this rate. Maybe we'll be able to sell a ton of stuff, tools and stuff with the blacksmith. I mean, it won't be the best tools, but hell, we'll make some money that way. I may have to go up and turn this in this rate. Ever heard of the German man who invented the bra? His name was Otto von Tetzlinger. He called his invention the over-the-shoulder boulder holder. Oh, jeez. Andy, come on now. Good old dad jokes. They never get old. How dare you paralyze me while I'm riding this go-kart? And what I know from this one, it'll change over time. And he says, so I made a dwarf to creep on a wild gilman who was 16. My name was Boulder Holder. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. You know, there was fun times back in the day, too, with that. Interesting. He did not like that. He sent it back to me. Not sure why they keep sending stuff back to me. Should be getting some money for that stuff. Unless I made the wrong box. Did I make the wrong box? I bet I did, didn't I? I bet you I made the wrong box. It's gotta be, I bet it was a shipping box I didn't make. So I've been constantly delivering to myself, and that's why they're charging me an arm and a leg. Do we have a shipping box? Shipping. We do. And that is why we have this problem. Okay, well, we can fix that real quick. And now we know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe! Let's go and make that shipping chest. There we go. Bam. And he says, my orc warrior was Mack Truck. Oh, God, I haven't heard that saying in a long time. He made an undead female mage pillar people named her In Your Eye. Oh, my favorite troll in WoW PvP was the old mind control right off a ledge trick. Those were great times. Now, if you really wanted to make people rage, that was all the rage. Literally. That one I had too much fun with. Although, if you really wanted to be a jerk, mind control them when they ride off the ledge into the ocean and see if they can make it back swimming. I feel like that was even worse. I feel like that was, hey, we're just doubling down on being this evil a-hole. I learned Mad Gaze's weak spot. Okay. Let's... Oh, we don't want that one. We want this one. All right, time to go back to work. Now we can start making some money. I was using the wrong thing. Now I know why I kept getting bills for delivery, and I was like, why are they charging me money? Because somebody kept delivering to themselves. And he says, oh yes, mind control. Our guild leader hit level 40. He mind controlled an alliance player just before the BB to Ratchet boat changed screens. Your friend got a 3-day suspension for it? But that's PvP. Wow. I would not have expected that. That seemed like a common thing to do. Because I don't remember if you lost stuff in the old WoW. I feel like you just died. You just had to... Well, I guess you had to corp walk to it, and if you couldn't get to it, then you're going to have to resurrect, which will cost you gold. I had to think about that. Oh, yeah. Alliance was always heavily favored back in the day, unfortunately. I think it still was if you look at the crappy writing they did for the Horde with Sylvanas and every other thing. I still hands down feel like they did Sylvana dirty. I really feel like that was something they really screwed up on. But, you know. Oh, yeah, you got a bad health debuff. Thank you, Andy. I could not remember what it was for the life of me. I thought it was something somewhat severe. So, for those watching, how many remember the Wrath of the Lich King pre-debut where people could become zombies? Honestly, that was my favorite event, and God, so many people were screaming about it. I was just having fun with the whole thing. I remember my guild mates at the time didn't even want to log in because they're like, I don't want to become a zombie. And I'm like, it's a temporary event and just fun. You don't lose anything, really. But holy crap, I remember that, and they said, oh, we'll never do that again. And I remember the guy that still stayed as a zombie in Shattrath for a long time. Because he refused to give it up because it was such a cool thing. I just remember going out to the Burning Crusade lands, the starting area out there, and literally turning that whole place into massive zombies and running from the Horde area after you turn all of them to zombies to the Alliance side, and just everybody was going to become a zombie at one point. But that was, that was a fun event. I was really sad when they said, oh, we're not going to do it anymore because, people got upset at us. I was like, come on, guys, line up. It's all in fun and games. And I felt like that. I felt like it was when you complained about stuff like that, that was about the time that they, stopped really giving a damn about doing events and stuff. And so they really slowed down on events after all the complaints. And I was just like, man, live and have fun. And Eddie says, ever heard of the plague that hit WoW back in Vanilla? There was a debuff that was for every nearby. You got radiant black Winglair, players got debuff, and hurts. Oh god, yes. That debuff was hilarious. I freaking remember that one. Holy crap. We're looking for the entrance, but we're also gathering ore because we're in the mines of Moria now. And a lot of these guys can't hurt my character at this point. They're so low level. They're looking at me and they just get punched in the face. Yes, I do remember those fun times, man. All the levels died was a carpet of bones. Oh god, okay, we gotta talk about that for a minute, guys. How many of you remember the old luring super elite monsters like Doomlord, Kozak, and all that to an area, to a town, and the guards couldn't even kill this dude, and he just walked around slaughtering everything, and you'd have to literally have mass raids to come in and stop it. Because it took these hunters like forever to kite it to these towns. And then next thing you know, they're learning all the way to all the major NPCs and stuff too. I just remember Doomlord Kozak the most going through Stormwind. That one was funny. Oh god, that was such a good time. I do remember that one. The rampant chaos that you could do in that game. Well, we're running low on steam, so let's go ahead and go through this, I guess. Oh, I don't want to be on there forever. Hi, I am here to take names and kick ass. Silver ore too. Oh, we're going to come back for this. Take that, goblin. Great place to train mining too. And let's just walk through this. I don't like... Okay, that one's empty. Wonder what's back here. Okay, that was nothing. It's got to be over here, maybe. Nope, not there. We got Chuckles the Clown. It's not here. Ah, I found it. It's an oak hammer. I don't have anything I really can upgrade, I don't think, from silver, steel, bronze, titanium. Yep, I don't have anything. All right, down we go. There we go. Took out Chuckles. Chuckles is always causing trouble. Which one's that? I'm going to read this tome. So much iron ore. This is great. I love it. Well, copper, any type of ore, really. There's gems here. We may have to just rest if we're going to keep going down. We're not going to get much experience. I mean, not much energy back, but I can't believe just how much resources are. Damn, this is such a nice mine. I haven't actually been down this far yet. Yes, my character is super tired. I know. Thank you, game. Workbench, learn, vent. Let's learn that. We'll take that. And so the cool thing is, as time progresses, all this stuff does change. Okay, we're down here now. There we go. Check that out. There we go. Done. Oh, guess we can't rest yet. Everybody wants to come attack me now. Maybe we're making rest now, maybe? Okay, we can. And Andy says, in ElfQuest, remember half-elf, half-dwarf character who is a metal worker. I always liked the oddball characters. I always liked making oddball characters, too, in all those games I played. That was what made the games fun, in my opinion. That's what made everything exciting back then, really. In any game you played, there was always some crazy combination you could come with for a character, and it was worth it. Like this character, I just experimenting, but I was kind of like, okay, this character is a succubus. She steals powers from everybody, and gains stats through and playing baseball. And so I was like, okay, she worships the trickster god, which is a fox. So I was like, you know what? I'm bored. Might change the appearance up a little bit. Since I guess she like really become one of the minions of the fox or something, because you can summon all sorts of shit with it. So I was like, okay, well, no, let's just screw off and do something fun. And another day, another dungeon, I think it was. There's a fun couple books that he was a mage. She was a black belt martial artist named Mercury Blasterbolt. Yeah, there's always some fun games. Always some fun ones. Statue of the Machine. What did I get? A scroll of an identified hero. Oh, I picked the gene of Manny. Interesting, okay. Hopefully Manny's a good guy. Need my guy to heal up a little bit. They have taken a beating. We got a lot of different spells to use, though. Okay. I think we're done on that side. Obsidian short sword. Well, we're definitely getting down here as soon as we're getting more upgrades like this. That's a good thing. Avid Fantasy Read. The Black Company by Glenn Cook is your favorite. The Grim Dark Fantasy. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that one. I don't think I've ever did read those book series. One day I'll have to start reading again. I used to love reading when I was younger. Which is funny because we were just talking about that earlier on the stream. About attention spans and stuff. how everything's changed so much. This gunblade is awesome. I love it. Oh, I need to jump out. Let me out. Dang it. I'll just make an exit. All right, we got a statue of Earth. A silver material hammer. Oh, nice. Silver, if I remember right, makes everything acid and fireproof. Well, if that's the case, let's make my wings silver. There we go. My wings now are acid and fireproof, so now I have silver wings. They can't be destroyed. Because there is acid-based creatures in here that will shred your stuff up that you have to then fix. Let's see. More crabs. It's funny, these guys are no match for my gunblade. But once you get later on, deeper in there, and my skills aren't good enough yet to deal with all of them. Oh, we're almost there, I think. I love when we proc lightning, though. That bolt of lightning shooting out is freaking cool. Where we're at still. Nice. Toss that. Like when your DM throws a rust monster at the party, Brave Sir Robin the Paladin runs away for facts. Facts, facts, facts. You are spitting facts there, my friend. That dude's like, oh, hell no. My precious armor. He's like, you guys got it. You guys got this. And leaves the mages to deal with it all. Big Daddy was one of the guys I was trying to fight to get as a companion, and let's just say Big Daddy spanked me. I didn't have the accuracy yet to really hit him, and he still hit like a truck. No, slime, you're not multiplying. And let's see, we can increase our armor. Which one we want? We got 2 there. Let's level this up. There we go. My chromite's even stronger now. Found this really good piece of armor in this level 30 area. I went down as far as I could, grabbed it, and got out of there before I got destroyed. And let me heal up. There we go. Found the next way down. We got a gnome that was hungry for fighting. And nothing else. Well, let's pray to our leader, because I feel like we're going to need it. When you play a new game called Soul Mass, an hour in, you realize you made another stealth archer. Fusroda. Oh, God, yes. Freaking Skyrim's freaking archers. Oh, man. Yeah. That's not, we got worried and decided to follow you. Sacred question, is this the work of the Steel Dragon? Their Tephra, the ancient demon of molten rock, the master of scorching flames. A demon must be Gorgon's minion. All right, leave it to you. Oh, we're fighting a monster somewhere. Okay. Okay, we got a boss fight here. We gotta look for him. Oh, holy crap! It's dodging my attacks. That ain't good. Oh crap, it's not even doing any damage. Uh-oh. Let's see. All right. I guess we're gonna use it. There we go. We threw a bunch of crap on it. Oh yeah, we grounded it. That worked. Okay. That's me defeat the steel dragon won't stay silent. What is this huge shadow? Hold, press and hold control to skip. I'm the steel dragon Goron. You stoop here, leave you cherish fearful lives. Am I ready? I'm the steel dragon Korgon. You stoop here and leave cherish fearful lives. Okay, it's repeating it. Something's off here. Dragons repeating so like a broken machine. Something's definitely fishy. Okay, supposed to lend him a torch. Mokyu. It's a child dragon. That's funny. Okay, so. All right, so I guess they're making amends. They're having some banter back and forth. He wants her miscolored eye, apparently. Okay. Well, left side. Why are there whelps on the right? That's 50 DKP minus. Oh, God. I remember that, too. Okay, she wants to take the dragon home as a pet because it thinks it's her mom. Okay. We're kind of going through this. That way, if someone wants to do it, they don't get too spoiled. And, oh, we can't loot this chest. Darn. All right, we'll grab that. Oh, we got a statue of that giant dude. Okay, cool. Collect his card. I was more concerned we weren't going to be able to fight this thing, but yeah, we did it. Okay. I say never leave no stone unturned. Oh, my character's freaking exhausted though. Whoops. We may have to leave this stone unturned in a minute. Yes, I remember seeing while Machinima, who's the tank. There's a lot of old school stuff I do remember. All right, we'll use this scroll to evacuate. Because my character is super exhausted. And we'll drop that off. Raises tourism value. Yeah, we're going to have to take that back to the other town as soon as we can, since this is not the tourist town. Scaled feather hats. Anything else we want to get rid of? Yeah, we can toss this old stuff. Okay, done. He says, fine stuff. Nim's vids where he parodied rap songs like Pug, KZ, or Just Loot It. That's definitely some interesting songs. I do remember some of those names that you say that, though. Yeah, my character's super exhausted. Time for bed. Time to sleep. Oh, do we have anything in progress story? No. Well, let's see if this does it. It turns out it's all the gold spinning by the dragon. And they just became friends. And looks like I have a dragon pet now. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have a dragon. I'm good with this. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. That's why I had to make sure I... All right. And he says there's one called Druid Boy parodying Soldier Boy. Druid running around Warsun Gulch, Moonfire spamming. Oh god, Moonfire spam was the worst back in the day. I remember that. The good old boomkins, everybody called. Oh man. I do remember those. I do remember the nightmare too. Kind of like the old story Pepperidge Farm remembers. You remember the time long ago when you had to deal with people spamming Moonfire? Well, don't worry. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm always remembers. I remember a buddy of mine used to tank as a boomkin during Burning Crusade. That was his lifelong dream, was to tank. It was pretty damn funny, too. You had the giant boom chicken doing all that stuff. Let's see. Let's use that one. Okay, we don't have much more. Hopefully that didn't screw everything up. Not enough fuel. Let's fix that. Throw pine in there. We got more mud bricks. I guess they do separate it. Darn it. I was hoping we could have used it the other way. Don't think we can make the other stuff we want with that. Yeah, we don't have enough bricks because we can't combine them. Dang it. Well, that didn't work out like we wanted to. So we had to go find probably some more bones to make this work. Oh, we got some bones right here. And he says, level through outlines and fell into an LFG gen group. Was Paladin, my mage, lock, and a hunter, and another range DPS. Paladin was tank and the healer. I do remember those days when Paladins could do all that. Hell, I remember when tanks or Paladins didn't even really need an off tank and like Mount Hyjal and crap. And you're just like, oh, well, okay, as a warrior, I'm just going to go take a nap then because Prot don't do any damage. And apparently he's got it all. So, you know what? Call me when you need me. I remember that. Oh, yeah, that is actually a pretty clever way of doing that. I think that's what similar what the guy was doing from Mount Hyjal, maybe. So all you had to do is get them locked in that consecrate, and that was it back in the day. Once they were locked in, you pretty much had it. You were eating good that night, so to speak. And let's grab that. I'm tired of them throwing their trash around, though. Dang it. Why everybody gotta throw their trash around? Yeah, so tomorrow night is definitely going to be a fun night, I think. Definitely going to do my talk show tomorrow with Mike, and then we're going to dive right into the streamathon. So we'll kind of go from there. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a nice weekend to be able to stream with you guys. I said I got some extra work I got to do, but, you know, everything's always worth it. There we go. Disassemble more stuff. Let's go look for some more bone. Guess we'll go here. Looking for bone. Now, I wonder if it's going to get bigger, because that'd be awesome if it did get full size for a dragon. I'm poison bad. Yeah, I'll be fine. They always say, you're poison bad. It's like, nonsense. I'm never poison bad. We're going to head over here to go look for some seashells and bone and skeletons, all that. Because we need that from the beach. Because just remember, life's a beach. And Andy says, like, Monk Tank's Padara, I had to blow my cooldowns on AoE pulls with my chamois to pull threat off him. Oh. You know, I didn't really play Monks much. I did do Battle for Azeroth. It was okay. I actually got to the point I disliked Battle for Azeroth at a certain point. Then, I remember a cutscene where Sylvanas called you her double agent. So if you chose to do some of that stuff, you were her double agent. What made me mad about that one was they dropped that storyline in the expansion. It's like when they did Shadowlands, it's like, oh, we need to drop that. We can't have that separate story of you being the super secret spy, because we're gonna, completely derail the story of Sylvanas, because Apparently, they just didn't like Sylvanas or some. Don't ask me why. I did tank as a demon hunter. It was all right. I couldn't complain too much about that, but let's see. I'm still looking for bone. There's just seaweed here. You made a Worgen. The first zone was Sylvanas as super evil. Yes, I do remember that. I hate it. I that's the one thing I hated from WoW, was how bad they destroyed Sylvanas' character. Like, well, congratulations, guys. You completely derailed that character. Because I miss the days when she was struggling with coming to terms being undead, but she wanted to, because the books portrayed her differently. I mean, I read the books. I kind of wish the WoW developers had read the freaking books too, because it's like, wow, you completely destroyed everything about Sylvanas. Hell, at one point she was trying to reconnect with her sisters. Granted, Sylvanas did get kind of crazy with thinking about wanting to turn one of her sisters into an undead so she wouldn't leave her like Illyriel did. Sylvanas would defend her homelands from trolls, no help from the Alliance and the Scourge. Yeah, she was one of those characters that fought to the bitter end and pretty much is ultimately left to die. I do remember that. And then brought back as a pawn of the Lich King. I mean, that character had some pretty screwed up history. For reasons, I mean, don't really think you could undo her years of needing therapy. Yeah, don't really think you can undo that. I think she's pretty much toast at that point. Then an Alliance Prince kills her and makes her an enslaved banshee. She is free, frees lure with humans who then turn on her. Yeah, the whole story just was pretty, I don't know. It was pretty damn wacky. I could not find myself to take WoW serious at one point when it come to their story. Because I feel like every other week they were changing something. And God forbid they really weren't following their own story. And then their final answer was just to leave her in purgatory for thousands of years or whatever, because the whole night elf thing. I'm like, oh, and that thing they made me mad is they made Tronde like some super badass. I'm like, okay, sure, cool. I remember a lot of people said they just really did want to write that character off and be done with her. And I don't know why. And we'll never know, unfortunately, Andy, why they wrote off such a good character. Okay, I think we got enough bone to do this now. Maybe. Oh, God, Garrosh, yeah. They did so much of that Garrosh 2.0 with Sylvanas. Granted, I hated what they did to Garrosh. I feel like this was my thought with Garrosh. If he learned what his dad was doing, tell me how the word leader is Garrosh 2.0. Oh, he totally is. That is inconceivably facts with that. He is so Garrosh 2.0. I didn't have Olvina with me this entire time? Really? I thought I did. Let's learn these recipes then. Since I have her broke from me. Let's see, writing tool. And we bought some love whips. And let's refuse. And there we go. Do we have any future quest updates? We got a farmer, like gardening, but we don't have a very good area for that. Okay. Don't think that's happening. There we go. Andy says, someone said in chat a couple hours ago that Jaina is better than Sylvanas. Jaina ran away from Stratham rather than stopping Arthas from killing everyone there. Jaina is one of those that I don't really feel they did good to her, the writing. I feel like they could have done better with Jaina, but then again, we're talking Blizzard and writing. Yeah, that's true. And then, like, 5 minutes later, they turn her into a psychopath. I do remember that. Jaina becomes a complete nut job at one point. I was like, well, there's that. I do remember that part with Jaina. It's like, ugh, that's not good. So I feel like it was Blizzard's way to pretty much demolish all the stories, to be perfectly fair at one point. I don't know if they wanted to clear out all the old guard or what they did, but it was pretty wild, Andy. I do agree with that. It's just hard to believe how crazy stuff can get, you know? So what we're doing now is we're making clay so we can get this kiln operational, so we can make more stuff to get our blacksmith operational, so we can get the blacksmith town set up. Oh, yeah. I think, but then again, it goes back to the same thing that we were just talking about earlier, Andy. They don't know how to write a good story. They retcon, they change stuff. They're not consistent. And it's that consistency that hurts WoW, in my opinion. Because they change too much and honestly ruin too much. Did I lose my water thing again? No, there it is. Okay. I don't feel like that Blizzard at one point wrote characters for people to relate to them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did destroy Thrall, too. There's a lot of things they demolished, though. And for the viewers on the other streams, the YouTube Shorts and X, welcome. On the other YouTube, the long form, so you can see everything. Andy, one of my viewers and subscribers, we've been having this WoW discussion too while I've been doing this. So if you're wondering, I am not talking to myself. I have not lost my mind. We're just having really good conversation about some of the dumb stuff that Blizzard has done. While we're playing some fantastic Elin, which, you know, this, like I said, this game is freaking addictive. I love a good city builder. I love a good RPG. You roll it all together. So I remember, who remembers Dragon Warrior 3? That we won't talk about the new thing that was the crap that Square re-rolled out as a remake. We'll talk about the old OG. I remember when I played that game and I did the whole found a town in Dragon Warrior 3. I always thought, this is kind of funny, I always thought as a kid, I was like, man, that would be a cool idea, you know, in an RPG where you could build a town and you could, hell, take over everything or whatever. And next thing I know, that game came out. It was a fun game. I really, really loved that OG vibe that it had back in the day. Unfortunately, it didn't do too well, I guess, in the end. I mean, but then again, I don't think anything does well nowadays, especially when it comes to remakes. I've said it once, I'll say it again, remakes suck 99.9% of the time. Because you gotta really have soul, in my opinion, if you're gonna do any type of remake. It don't matter what type of remake you do. I mean, it's like the Warcraft 1 and 2 remake. It was half-assed. It was so half-assed. It was not even funny. I still can't believe they half-assed it. All they did was upgrade a little bit of the characters, and then they left the UI and the performance the same. And I'm like, couldn't you have done a true remake and just basically fixed all the problems everybody had? Yeah, Sandbox did not exist back then. You had Nintendo. You're actually correct. You had Nintendo, and, well, technically everything was a sandbox back then, because most time you played by yourself. I mean, you know, I did, but back in the day when it was just, you know, game systems, but so, I mean, if we go by that standard, Andy, there was some non-scripted stuff that was fun, but yeah, games have came a long way since we were kids. I will definitely say that. It's came a tremendous way. And for the good, I think. The only time I think for the bad is when game companies don't really want to do what the players want or don't make it better, and then they give this surprise Pikachu face when the game goes to hell or doesn't make sales, and they're like, oh, well, nobody really wanted it. Let's see. He says, my first game was text-like games like Hitchhiker's Guide or Simple Hallway Find, like the first Wizardry. I do remember the first Wizardry. I do remember that. I also remember the Might and Magic series. I remember, I think there's one called Dungeon Magic. That was another one that was pretty much like that. There was a lot of games back then that had that whole play kind of mentality. Let's see, we got Kiln. Let's throw some oak in there to recharge it, and then Time to bake some ore. So while we're still trying to get our craftsman center set up, we still got to do a little bit of things we have to get all prepped up. But hey, I got myself a pet dragon. That works out great. And some shook the area. I wonder if there's a new spell. Dungeon Keeper is the same angle as the game you're playing. Click on a block of dirt and summon imps dig out of it. Yeah, that's one thing I like about some of these games is it's simple enough, and it just goes back to, I really think I like the simplicity sometimes with some of the games. I mean, this game has a lot to it. It's a very fun RPG, you know, and the whole city building aspect and everything just adds to it. I mean, and then there's all sorts of loot roll chances and stuff. I mean, I love this legendary. Freaking Gunblade is so good. I love my Gunblade. It's a pretty cool weapon. Got to get the strength of my Gunblade up, though, so I can, well, of my longsword, so I can hit a lot better. Because I still miss too much. Okay, we're almost... Alright, we're tired. We don't want to get ourselves killed from overdoing it now. So we'll drop that in here. I'll grab my platinum coins. Okay, I think that's everything. And we'll rest here in our good bed so we get our stamina back up. And Andy says, imps dig out gold and you pay to level up creatures or build lairs or hatcheries. That does sound pretty cool. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I played Dungeon Keeper 4. And he says, come up, good night for me, gonna crash. Always fun, Kai. Have a good night. Good night, Andy, and I hope to see you again soon, buddy. It's always fun hanging out with you and chatting with you while we're doing this stuff on the show. So keep it real, brother, and we'll chat again soon. And let's see. I have oak still. Let's get some wood cut because we got to finish the other building. We got to get that place set up next. I mean, that was something we kind of got to get done, I guess. It's one of those things that's like, what are we going to do? But it should work out pretty well. I think it's all going according to plan. Some ways not so much, but you know. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, as they would say. I think we got to complete the other story to continue this one too. I suspect. Can't confirm, but it's just my suspicion. Oh, hi there. Didn't realize we were going to deal with a floating eyeball over here that shoots lightning. Apparently, it just had a score to settle with me or something. I don't know. It wanted to gaze into my soul, assess the situation. Okay, so we finished that. The only other thing we need to really... Oh, we have a mercenary here. I don't know if we have anything else particularly. Try to figure out what else we need. Then again, we are approaching on hour 4. We may have to save up some energy for tomorrow night, because like I said, tomorrow night's going to be a long night, guys. We're going to be doing a long stream tomorrow night. Should be lots of fun. Very much looking forward to it. So, I think you guys will have fun too. I mean, it's something I always do around this time of year where we do some long streams. So, you know what? I think with that, and we got this up here too. I think we will go ahead and call it here for the night. And we'll kind of pick up whatever we do tomorrow night. Should be lots of fun. And, we'll kind of probably do some more updates as we can go on things. So with that, I bid you all good night, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for the talk show and the streamathon. So if not, you have a happy Thanksgiving. Peace.